want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the scholar of boxing.
See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
Cruiser 5 to 50 be advised, County Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
Publicists, when you talk to your publicists, you know the first thing they tell you? What? Stay away from religion, stay away from politics. Okay. You know why? No matter what the you say, somebody passionately disagrees with you. Absolutely. No matter what religion, you believe in Allah, then you're saying that's not the right way. You believe in every Christianity, that's not it, because they're choosing something different. Your political party, the Democrat, Republican, the disagreement completely. Yep. So I stay away from it. When I get pulled into politics, I go, and I have nothing to say. I'm just
the same way we are. We don't no politics, none of this.
With that, I don't stay there because I'm still entertainment. If it's not music, then it's film and television, but it's still entertainment. So why would you turn someone off by saying that? Right. I want everybody to enjoy what I'm doing. Right. Not just a selective few amount of people. I focus on diversity because it's needed. Right.
The boxing scholar is a lover, not a fighter, but he's also a fighter, so don't get any ideas. If he pats you on the back, you'll put it in your resume. His enemy. Have him listed as an emergency contact. The scholar has an inside joke with complete strangers. If he punched you in the face, you'd have to fight the urge not to thank him. Sharks have a week dedicated to him. He's the only man alive to is parallel park. A train is count to infinity twice. In Genesis, when God said, "Let there be light," the scholars said, "Say pretty please." He is the genius of all genius and master of all masters.
And that's the trick to life. You have to be wise enough to know when you were living in your dream. And you have to be humble enough to accept when you're in someone else's.
Yo, the Boxing Scholar's on. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Jesus of all Jesus, Master of all Mother Masters. What's good? Polo, we could have a conversation, but it probably won't be on any of my boxing lives. You know, a mutual place I would probably want to meet you at to have a conversation would probably be Stormy's. Because, you know, all your enemies, like never Hobers, will be in your chat just to attack me. So I'm not interested in going over there with all those people. So, yeah, we can have I'm open to a conversation. It just would have to be mutual ground or a non-boxing episode. But other than that, what's up, everybody? Goddamn, we got a good one for y'all today. We got Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Was it rigged? I wanted to do this show a long time ago. You know, long overdue, right? The reason why I wasn't able to was, of course, because Jake Paul versus Mike Perez, I covered that fight. And when I covered that fight, I basically got blackballed to a degree. You know, I got a copyright strike. I wrote somebody from MVP, and I told, because I didn't even know that, you know, that you couldn't show. It was a fight footage of like a fight that was on the Chitlin circuit that Jake Paul, Mike Perry had, and he was stretched in the fight. And I was using that, and I had it on repeat, but I was doing voiceovers on it, and I altered the content just a little bit, you know. And they struck me during the live, and then when they struck me during the live, put up another one, but then they gave me an 8-day suspension, and then the rest is history from there. I essentially would come back and they would be playing games, suppressing my viewers, not telling people when I was live, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. And I told them like, hey man, could you please take this copyright off my account? It's really affected my account. And they were like, nah, change the email on them. So that's why I'm not that big on covering Jake Paul and his events, but I'm gonna give it another shot. One last chance. And this is something that I've been wanting to clarify for everybody because I know the science of boxing. I know the history of boxing. Don't know everything there is to know about it, but I know a lot about it. And I can, and the people I have on my show know stuff that I don't know. So it's iron sharpens iron the entire time that we're up here. So with that being said, we're gonna do Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Was it scripted? Was it all a dream? I used to read Word Up magazine. We finna get into the minutia of everything. So first things first. I think it's pretty crazy to me that, people would rather say that a fight is script. What the obvious is, and the obvious is Mike Tyson is an old dude, right? He's closer to 60 than he is 55, right? And he got in the ring with a younger guy. He's seen openings, but could not take advantage of them. Rather than accept that to be the absolute fact of the situation, everybody just made excuses for it. Everybody said it was scripted. Even before the fight, when my numbers were being suppressed, I put up a script that the internet had put around, and it said that this is how the fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will go. I BS you not. And it showed the script, and it said this is how it's going to end. This is how it's just so crazy to me. It's like, so these fighters are in their respective separate camps, right? And the script is given. They haven't been rehearsing, but on fight night, they're just going to get it absolutely 100% right on fight night. Like, people, y'all got to stop. Y'all got to stop with the conspiracy stuff. And this is coming from a person that's a conspiracy theorist to a certain degree, but they can't all be right. If every conspiracy is right, they will cancel out the very conspiracy that you have. It can't all be scripted. And at the same time, people are taking dives and getting paid to get knocked out in the fight. Like, what? If it's scripted, would you script for yourself to be knocked unconscious? So anyway, without further ado, this is Mike Tyson's comments about the fight after the fight. So here we go.
The fight. Mike Tyson's here on the Covino and Rich show. What do you have to say to all the critics who say you held back on punches? There was a lot of viral clips. What do you have to say to the critics that brought that up?
Oh, no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little.
So, did you watch it back or anything or no?
I'm going to watch the fight. No, I have not.
Okay, so there was a lot of casual fans. First, I want to thank you again for bringing people together. It was like the 90s all over again. We got together with friends. We had a great night. It was highly entertaining. But then, of course, clips go viral. A lot of casual fans speculating. There's a few clips where, like, you're holding back a right-hand punch, in my opinion, as a fan, to not be exposed so that you don't get hit. Is that what was happening in that clip, or you don't even know?
I was just, listen, know what I remember?
No.
Coming back from the first round, and then the next day I remember Jake is doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh, yeah, little bow at the end. He bowed.
That's the last thing I remember.
Dude, there was a lot of people online that said that's when you should have hit him, when he was bowing down like that. That's when
he's going to hit me. That's why I was like, what the hell is he doing?
So it went that quick for you?
Yeah.
Mike.
I was not tired. I wasn't sweaty. I went to the hotel. No, I went to the house that we stayed in. I left the house, me and my wife, my kids. Then we went to the after party. Then we came back.
So for us, right, it was 2-minute rounds, and it felt really quick for us. We were like, dang, we wanted more. Is there anything about the fight you would have changed based on the experience?
Oh, not at all. Listen, I wouldn't have realized any of it if it went 3-minute rounds. I didn't realize it.
And there you guys.
So that's Mike Tyson basically recalling the fight. I think it's really funny to me, considering Mike Tyson's age, that people really think Mike Tyson can get in there and remember a script when he couldn't even remember the fight. Can't make this up. Mike Tyson couldn't even remember the fight. Everybody thought he would remember a script that they handed to them. And then, the guy that leaked the script for the idiots, basically after he leaked the script and the fight didn't go as script, he said, "Oh, it's because I leaked the script. They had to come up with a completely new one." Bro, you like, come on, bro. So you mean to tell me that Marvel movies can keep their script tight and so in-house that nobody knows how Thanos is going to die or get finished, but somehow boxing, right, where you can't even name the people who are in the shadows who are pulling these strings, right, outside of the promoters. You can't even name those people, and somehow you manage to have a script just falls into your lap about how the fight is going to end. And then when the fight doesn't go exactly the way you said it's going to go, well, then you have an excuse. Oh, well, they put out a new script. Well, why did you get the new script if you were able to get the old one? Stupid stuff, man. We got to stop this. Listen, like I said, there are some conspiracies that are true, but there are more that are not true than true. And fans will take it, content creators will take advantage of people believing in these conspiracies and not being knowing enough about the sport or enough about anything. They will take advantage of that. And this is a situation like that, where a dude got a bunch of views by saying the fight is scripted and leaking the script before. And then everybody believe, oh, I know how it's going to happen. They going on telling their moms, I know how it's going to happen. I already seen the script. He going to do this, he going to do that. All this old crazy stuff, only for none of that to happen. Got to be smarter. We got to be smarter. But that's why we got channels like this. So a lot of people was talking about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul during the fight, and how Mike Tyson was pulling some of his punches, right? Okay, so let me turn up the volume. Let me see if I can find a timestamp. I do not want to get flagged again, so give me a second. Oh, I didn't put a timestamp on this one, so let's see. Boom. Boom. There we go. Let me see. Let me change the speed just a little bit. Let's reduce this. Bam. There we are. So, this is from a person that was there, right? Mike Tyson came out and looked really, really good in the first round, like extremely good, right? And in the first round, him looking extremely good, a lot of people was like looking around like, ooh, Jake is in trouble. Man, he is in trouble. Like, a lot of people was really having that type of vibe. They thought Mike Tyson had turned back the clock, and I still was impressed for him to do what he did at his age. That's still impressive to me. But everybody was just looking around like, dang. See, it's not a matter, everybody know power is the last thing to leave a great fighter, right? It's not a matter of if Mike Tyson still has power or not. It's how long can he endure. See, your endurance goes down the older that you get. That's just a fact. You know what I mean? If you look at Sugar Ray Leonard, Jake LaMotta at 90 years old was shadow boxing online, right? And it's just like, they got a lot of muscle memory built in, and they still know how to deliver the power, and like the power, like they still know how to efficiently deliver the power. It's just that they can't maintain it, right? It's the next day getting up. It's the second win that never comes. It's those things are why, what the old people say, getting old sucks. Essentially, that's what that is. You don't get your second and third win as fast as you did when you were younger. So Mike Tyson shows signs of that slippage. Yeah, probably 60. He's almost 60, but leading up to the fight. But people just ignored that because they seen the name Mike Tyson. I remember they even showed in the arena, they showed clips of Iron Mike Tyson, right? They showed clips of Iron Mike Tyson when he was 20 years old and he won the WBC championship belt. And it was just like, why are you showing these highlights? Show the Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson highlights if you want to, but they knew that they could deceive the people. And that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to get people to be like, Mike Tyson could be he could be who he was a long time ago, or he could do this, he could turn back the end of time, blah, 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 blah. And that's why a lot of people were disappointed. George, I'm gonna go ahead and put you in timeout because I don't know what the hell you talking about. I don't put you in timeout. You don't come over here talking like that. That's a good way to get the shit slapped out of you. So yeah, what's up, Frank? He said, I'm glad to see Tank snatching the bag, but I know it's another scripted performance. No, Frank. No, not you too, brother. He said, Lou said, the boxing scholar, what's good, bro? What's good, Lou? And he said, I watched Floyd knock that fool out. He said, Paul and Musa, I guess supposed to be MFer, started doing the funky leg and then started complaining. Interesting. Said Mike leg muscles are Frank, you be using some big ass words, but I don't know what the hell you talking about. Mike's legs are antenuted. I don't know what that. You gotta have to break that down. Break that down. Break that word down. Use another word for that, Frank. God damn, Frank. Frank educated like a motherfucker. He said that fight was faker than a $3 bill. Nah, I disagree. So here we go. Let's go through the fight. Hopefully they don't flag me again. So here we go. This is the first round. Mike Tyson throws a jab and a right hand. Jake Paul rolls it, but you look at his face, you can see he's clearly like fearful of anything that comes after that, right? Look at his eyes. Look at how wide his eyes is. That's a person that really respects his opponent that's in front of him, right? Look at this. Mike Tyson jabs into the arm. I ain't gonna lie. Look, remember I talked about muscle memory? Check this out. Check this out right here. You see right what he did right there? He ducked up under Jake Paul's jab and then jabbed him to the shoulder, which is smart. And then he came up, jabbed him to the head, but he misses that jab. That's what old age looks like. The punch windows are there. The opportunities are there. He just can't capitalize. That's what old age looks like. But this is the first round. This is before a punch is even thrown. Like I said, Mike Tyson looked really, really good. I was like, holy shit, maybe he could get a decision. Look, Jake Paul throws a jab and then a right hand. And listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Look at this right here. Let me go back. Can you see that right there? When Jake Paul barely misses the right hand because Mike Tyson's attacking him as well. But the right hand is there. It's open. Like this was almost night for Mike, you know? Look how slow he reacts to this punch. Look at this. Look at that. Look at how slow he reacts to that punch. If Jake Paul doesn't bend down and he shoots that straight right hand instead of leaning to his left, he probably at least drops Mike Tyson, if not knocks him out. That is crazy. That's crazy, man. Please don't give me Jake Paul. I'm trying to bring credence to your fight. So like then he just jabs Mike Tyson. They didn't even show the biggest punch of the fight. Mike Tyson threw a right hand in the first round that really got Jake Paul's attention and caught him and made Jake Paul respect him. See Mike Tyson ducks down in front of Jake Paul and then pops up with a jab. Bam, knocks his head back. Does that look scripted to y'all? Let me know. That looks scripted to y'all? Yeah, I think it was legit, Lou. I think it was legit. I don't think Mike Tyson has it in him to try to lose a fight. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that, Lou. I'm gonna show you some clips. I'm gonna show you some clips why I believe what I believe. I'm gonna show you some clips to why I believe what. Matter of fact, I'll stop the fight. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll break down some of the clips and then we'll stop it just for copyright purposes, and then we'll go into the main fight. But yeah, Mike Tyson, like I said, the first round, Mike Tyson looked good. No, this is the right hand right here. Mike Tyson braces for the right hand. Jake Paul telegraphs it. Okay. So I'm glad they put it in slow motion because this ain't gonna help my argument. They're gonna be like, oh man, look, he pulled his right hand. Which is it scripted for? Is it scripted for Jake Paul or Mike Tyson? Because it can't be scripted for both. Both get in there, don't throw any punches. Like, nah, that's not how that works. Boxing would be hard to do that. But let's check this out. See, Mike Tyson's throwing a jab at the same time, but he sees Jake Paul telegraph the right hand. Then he drops down in front of him so he could see it. He could see it. Yeah, Jake Paul just misses. He just misses the trajectory of this punch. That's all that you've seen. If he throws his punch straight, this punch knocks out Mike Tyson. If he throws his punch straight, this punch knocks out Mike Tyson, 100%. If he doesn't bend down and then lean over to his left, see, because he bends down and leans over to his left, the punch has nowhere to go but straight. You know where his head is and where his weight is up over his left leg. You know, but if he sits up and don't bend down and throw his right hand, he hits Mike Tyson with his right hand and maybe knocks him out. He's trying to catch him with that Nate. What was it? Nate? What was the dude's name? It wasn't Nate Jones. What was it? Nate Robinson punch and put Mike Tyson on the poster. So those intentions alone let me know that this fight is not scripted. But we're gonna get into more of that. Yeah. See, look, the punch follows his head. See, his head is way over here. But his head is well over here and his weight is up over his left leg. He don't have nowhere. Like, how could you lean? I want somebody to practice this at home. Lean all your weight over to your left leg and throw a right hand and make the target be over to your right? And see where the right hand goes. Like, what could he do? Like, what did he do? Like, how could he throw a hard punch over to his right side if his weight is all the way over here and his head is over there too as well? There's no way possible that happens. The punch can only travel right here to the target zone. So that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. Okay. So yeah, that's why that punch didn't land. Jake Paul, what round was that? The first round? Jake Paul could have had a first round knockout, but hold on. Copyright purposes, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show y'all something. So there was a time where Mike Tyson was doing an exhibition. Let me see. It's so funny because Floyd always talk about him being the king of exhibitions, right? Mike Tyson been doing exhibitions, right? Let me show you this. What was that guy's name? Corey Sanders. Mike Tyson did an exhibition against Corey Sanders, right? Let me show y'all this. He did an exhibition against Corey Sanders, right? A long time ago. And in that fight, you know, Mike Tyson was he needed the money really bad. Man, come on, man. Hold on. He needed the money extremely bad, right? And so he took the exhibition with Corey Sanders. I timestamped this, man. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to go look for it. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to go look for it, man. That's crazy work. Man, I'm gonna have to go look for it. Hold on. This might be it. Hold on. Because there's a clip, there's a part in that exhibition where Mike Tyson knocks down his sparring partner and then he has to like hold him up. And it's like Mike Tyson doesn't know, he only knows one gear. He's been knocking people out in sparring for years. And that's just sparring. So man, I might have to go. Oh, you know what? Oh man. Okay, so let me show you this first. Let me go back and show you this first before I go to the Corey Sanders thing, because matter of fact, I'm gonna just show you. Let's just go through it. Shit, it is what it is. If I find it once, I can find it again, right? So hold on, give me a second. So Mike Tyson fought a dude named Corey Sanders, right? And in the exhibition, Mike Tyson was just needed a little bit of money. Bam, look, bro, I went to the part. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I went to the part by mistake. Okay, so in the fight with Corey Sanders, Mike Tyson only knows one gear. The fans paid their hard-earned money. They were booing because Mike Tyson didn't destroy this dude when they felt like he should have, right? So hold on.
Here, what Jeff has got to make this into a stronger sparring session. You knocked down on the first round.
Got caught with a good right hand and legitimate right hand on the chin, and boom, he went down. No, there's another one. I mean, Mike's making it interesting. Corey's got to fight. Corey's the one who's not making it interesting. He's making it obvious it's a spar session. Mike's not. Trying to keep it entertaining.
You see that?
Mike's holding him up.
Y'all see that? Mike Tyson held him up. He held him up in the sparring thing. You know, and listen, I already know where y'all mind gonna go. Well, look, if he held him up, Scholar, and sparring, then maybe he's no. This was something that was supposed to be just like light. There was no money given or anything. It was just a public event, and Mike Tyson was charging people to see him come out and basically how he trains. And this guy Corey Sanders, I believe he had like a bad eye or something. Stood no chance. But Mike Tyson, look at him countering, coming over the top with right hands, rocking him. He's rocking Corey Sanders in sparring. He only knows one gear. Mike Tyson don't know how to get in there and take it easy on anybody. And you know how I know that that's true? There's a clip of Customato telling Mike Tyson, like, hey, man, you know, I don't care how old this kid is, you know, if excuse me, Kevin Rooney, if he's 17, you go hard on him because he's going to be trying to hurt you. He only knows one gear, you know, not to mention Mike Tyson. They hired an actual hypnotist. But look, Mike Tyson putting them combos on this dude, knocking him down. This is crazy, man. Mike Tyson, and this is well past par. Mike Tyson still got hand speed, just didn't have the tenacity that he had. But this right here, look, counters over the top, hits him with a right hand, right? Wobbles him, and then holds him up because he's falling from the right hand. He only knows one gear. This man only knows one gear, only one way to fight, and that's 100%. Try to knock you out. That's why he's the king of getting knockouts in sparring, because he only knows one way. So with that being said, that's not code I am. I just randomly found that, you know what I mean, without time stamping it. But anyway, so that was my mindset on him going into the fight and his mindset going into the fight. A lot of people were saying that Mike Tyson was biting his glove, and they thought that was like him signaling or something. But if you've been watching Mike Tyson's career, you know that that's something that he does a lot. That's like a reoccurring theme of his, because Customato told him to do it to keep his hands up. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's go to somebody that was there at the beginning. Here we go.
Okay, thumb biting, right? And we're not talking about the thumb biting with your nephews or about the thumb biting, okay? Thumb biting, right? And we're not talking about the thumb biting with your nephews or with your children or, you know, with that stuff. We're talking about Mike Tyson biting his thumb during the call. First of all, that's something that he did in his amateur days, he did in his pro days, and now, of course, he did it again. That's something that he has done, and he's, you know, for people that follow Mike Tyson, his career, they've seen it before. People are saying, oh, and Tyson's smart. He's witty. You know, he knows what to say. He knows the image. He knows the importance of having that image, you know, how important. That's why he got all the money. It wasn't about what he had left at 58. It was what maybe he might have. And the image, the scary guy, the guy that's going to eat your children, the guy who's the baddest man on the planet. You know, just that image, that soul, when that last smack, you know, like, that made people, oh, maybe he's that guy still. Well, he wasn't, but maybe he's still that. And look, God bless him. He made a lot of money, you know, 58 years old.
Shout out to my guy T Hill and Marky Dan, the young historian, ain't even over the age of 19. Shout out to you, Marky Dan. But Teddy Atlas, after hating on it, he finally gets to the point. Like, golly, Teddy, let it go, bro.
The whole thing. But a lot of when people ask Tyson about the biting, he knew what to say. Again, keep that image, keep that myth. You know, it's important in these kind of realms. You know, that they believe that he's still the boogeyman, that he's this guy that, you know, is lurking, dangerous, you know, and you never know. So why did you bite, Mike? I bit a biting sensation. In other words, so I didn't bite his ear. You know, again, just saying that alone, brilliant promotion for the brand, to people to stay with that image. That, oh my God, he bit his thumb so he wouldn't bite his ear off. You know, stuff. But it's not that. He'd done it before. It's more like a pacifier. It's more like, look, everyone gets nervous. Even Mike Tyson. Everyone gets doubtful. Even Mike Tyson, even the baddest man on the road. Everyone gets scared. Even Mike Tyson. I'm trying to help people here. So it was more of a thing like a pacifier when a kid's unsure, or when he's insecure. You know, you bite down on something. Why? To suppress those feelings, to suppress the doubt, to suppress the nervousness, the uneasiness, the insecurity. It's to suppress. That's what it is. That's what it is. And look, Tyson is brilliant when it comes to being a promoter. People don't give him credit for that. He's brilliant. He understands when the people see that it's going to make them think. They're not going to think of what I just said, but it's going to make them, oh my God, look at him. Look at him. What the freak is he? Wow. What the hell? He's chewing to get to the guy. He's biting his thumb. He's biting his thumb because he wants to freaking get to the guy. No.
He's chomping at the bit.
He's chomping at the bit. Thank you, Ken. He's chomping at the bit. No, it's what I said. I thought that everyone was asking for closure to that. I hope that gives you a little bit, at least from my perspective, from what I understand. You could buy it. You don't have to buy it. I don't care. But what I do care is my son said that he saw an inordinate amount of comments up that was saying, we got 700,000 views when we live streamed it. And he saw a lot of comments that said, Teddy, could you talk about the biting? So there it is. I did go and talk about the biting. It wasn't so he would, so he would keep himself from biting anyone's ear or any of that kind of stuff. But again, he is smart. He is a smart guy that way. A lot of people don't think he is, but he's wily that way. You know, he knows that if I'm doing that, that brings more controversy. That brings.
Yo, listen. I thought Teddy Atlas did I miss it, man? Because I did hit play and lay for a little bit. Did I miss where Teddy Atlas talked about it when they was younger? We don't need Teddy Atlas, man, because all Teddy Atlas did was watch the event, got 900,000 views off the event, and still hated on Mike Tyson. But you can't make that up. You can't make that up. Teddy Atlas hated on Mike Tyson after eating off Mike Tyson. That's crazy work. So I'll show you myself. Right?
Tyson.
For those who don't know, with this fight right here, this is Kevin McBride. This is Mike Tyson well past his prime, right? So this is Mike Tyson well past his prime. Check this out.
Biting his left glove.
You heard that? This is him versus Kevin McBride. Kevin McBride, in that fight, he continuously bit his left glove, but it was to keep his hand up. It had nothing to do. So it had a biting sensation. It didn't have nothing to do with a biting sensation or any of that. It was just that Mike Tyson, he was a shell of a shell at that point. And he wanted to, keep his hand up and, whatever the case may be, keep his hand up and stress the fundamentals that he had been taught when he was a kid. And he does it. And he does it a lot when he's confused. You know how some people have like a tick, like what's the old dude's name? They had the Tourette's in their fight that kept doing his head up like this. Dang, man, that's right. I could visualize the cross-eyed dude. Anyway, that guy, it's like a nervous tick thing where Tyson, if he's struggling in a fight or he can't get to a guy or the power, ain't powering, he'll start to bite his glove. So this is the Kevin McBride bite where he bit his glove too. So check it out.
Tyson holding up.
See it? You see it? One more time. Let's run it back. One more time. Oh, it went too far back. Hold on. Mike Tyson was biting his glove in the Kevin McBride fight, right? Well past his prime. So here we go. Man, come on, man.
Tyson whipping hard uppercuts. Tyson holding up, biting his left glove.
McBride's breathing pretty heavy as well. So the fact that he might get Tyson to the 5th or 6th round hardly guarantees him of a victory. And Tyson is doing most of the effective punching what's being done. Right?
Hold on, my man. Hold on, head. Let's go.
So as you see in the fight with Kevin McBride, he was biting his glove too, right? He was frustrated in that fight. He was well past his prime. Kevin McBride was just beating on Mike Tyson, you know, in that fight, you know. And it's just a nervous tick thing that he did it more towards the end of his career than you've seen him doing it because he was too busy working, you know, moving his head and working in the inside. He got older, his reflexes slowed down. The cocaine and all the drugs. What's up, Angie? By the way, I forgot to say what's up to my sister Angie, MVP over here at Scholar Network. Yeah, and what's up, Jay Bliss? You too. I missed you, man. I be getting so in the zone. My bad. I be lost into the video that I forget to say what's up to y'all, man. So y'all don't take it personally. Y'all my homies. But yeah. So he gets into later in his career where he don't move his head as much. The lungs ain't the same, and then that's when he starts doing the nervous tick stuff where he's biting his glove and you know what I mean, doing all those things. So that's why you see him later in his career. I believe he did it in the McBride fight. He did it in all the fights that he had. Okay, I think he did it in the what's the other fight with Danny Williams fight. I think he did it in that fight as well. He did it in a lot of fights that went over 4 to 5 rounds that didn't end early. You know what I mean? Where his power couldn't carry him because he didn't even want to box anymore. After this fight, he said, "Man, I don't have the stomach for this anymore, you guys." But this is Mike Tyson's explanation of why he bit him. So here we bit his gloves.
During the recent,
this is what Mike Tyson said why he bit his hand. I bit his glove, excuse me. So this is what his explanation was.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, Mike Tyson was seen biting his gloves multiple times. While some fans think he was biting his gloves to keep himself from throwing a knockout punch at Jake, others believe he was controlling his urge to bite Jake's ear, as he did with Evander Holyfield in 1997. After the match, when Mike was asked why he was biting his gloves, this is what he said in response.
Team was debating what you were doing with your glove. Was it a mouthpiece issue or were you just biting on your glove? What was that? Could you tell us?
Oh, I have a habit of biting my gloves when I fight, yes.
Why do you do that?
I have a biting fixation.
I've heard about that. I don't want to know more.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you.
So, I have a biting fixation. He has a biting fixation, not sensation. That man got a biting fixation. So yeah, that's basically essentially why he did it. He's did his entire career, you know. I don't know if that was a loss of words, loss of memory, but basically that's what Mike Tyson does to keep his hand up. He bites his glove to keep it right in a place where it's supposed to be, you know, and he does it, like I said, as a nervous tick towards the end of his career because he wasn't busy with his hands. You didn't see it a lot when he was early in his career because Mike Tyson was always moving his head or his hands. Whenever he got older and like I said, the drugs and everything started catching up to him, he was stationary a lot. So you would see the biting of the hands trying to figure out how to get inside and et cetera, et cetera. So that's why he bit his hands. He wasn't signaling into Jake Paul that he wasn't holding back the power and getting mad because he was holding back the power and biting his gloves. He did not want to bite Jake, but he bit his glove instead. It was none of the above. It was only because Mike Tyson was trying to keep his hand up. Michael Murray said Muhammad Ali got investigated for his first fight with the Speaks by the FBI because there were rumors that he deliberately lost so that he could win the championship for a third time. Well, we already know that's not true. Anybody who's read Muhammad Ali's autobiography, he wasn't training and taking the fight serious. What's up, Bob? So he wasn't taking the fight serious. So because he wasn't taking the fight serious, I mean, that's the results of that. You got to take the fight serious, especially when you're the aging guy that's past your prime and the young hungry lion coming up, you know? So that's why you got the result of what you got with that. So I wanted to show this, right? So you remember all the training footage that Mike Tyson had leading up to the fight? You guys remember that? Check this out.
You.
Couple things to point out. Number one, y'all seen Bruce Lee. Boards don't hit back. Pads don't hit back. That's number one. But number two, he was all close vicinity. He didn't have to work inside. He was already inside throwing punches at the pads. And three, there's nothing on Mike Tyson's legs. You see that? Nothing on his legs. Nothing whatsoever on his legs, right? Leading up to the fight. So that's why you've seen him really explosive, especially for his age, all the way up to the fight because he didn't have any leg problems. No leg injury whatsoever, right? Leading up to the fight. This is how I knew personally, you know, this is how I knew that Mike Tyson Mike Tyson wasn't going to be the same.
Coming to the ring, the fourth.
Excuse me. Yeah, well, definitely wasn't going to be the same Tyson in his prime, but I knew that he was going to suffer in the fight, right? This is how I knew. So I watched the lead up to the fight, you know, the warm up and all these things, stuff like that, right? All these things like that, right? And I noticed Mike Tyson have a knee brace on his leg. Can you see that knee brace right there? Getting into the ring, he had a knee brace, and I was like, Mike, you're an older guy. You need your legs to knock out Jake Paul. Why would you enter a fight with a leg injury? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But yes, Mike Tyson hurt his leg before the fight. Now, nobody will ever know this because Mike Tyson's a warrior, but it means it don't take common sense. I mean it don't take a rocket scientist to see that this man hurt his leg before the fight. All the training footage that you look at, every video footage he have where he look extremely explosive and telling Jake Paul he's gonna slaughter him in the fight, no leg injury, you know, no knee brace, no anything. But right before the fight, he had a knee brace. And I want you to notice that. All right, see the knee brace right there? I want you to notice this. Mike Tyson got into the ring with the knee brace, and I want you to notice the difference. I just showed you Mike Tyson without the knee brace hitting the pads before the fight, leading up into the camp, right? Now look at this. Look at this. Okay, Kevin Hart's like, somebody go look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. So there's Mike Tyson, you know, for the workout, the open workout. You know. Now look at this. Couple things to notice. Here we go. First thing to notice is Mike Tyson's not mobile. He's not bouncing up and down on his feet. You know, he's cutting the ring off pretty fine. But every training clip they showed, Mike Tyson was already in the range, and I'm like, well, I know what he can do when he's in range. How is he going to get into range? Jake Paul's not going to allow him. But you notice the explosiveness ain't the same. Like he knocked the trainer's mitts off in the other clips I showed you. Look at it, like the trainer's placing the mitts right there for him to hit, and he don't look explosive at all. And this is leading up to the fight. Like this is a couple days out to the fight. And then I noticed this. Watch this right here. Mike Tyson telling his trainer something, right? Watch this. I noticed this before the fight. I was like, oh, man. Slow-mo, bam. Mike Tyson telling his trainer something in the corner, right? So here we go. Mike Tyson hitting the mitts, throwing the right hand, jab right hand, left hook. Then he ducks up under the punches. The trainer's telling him throw some more punches. He don't look explosive. He don't look explosive at all. Like he don't look anything like the clips that we seen a while ago. You see the trainer making faces, trying to ooh, and all this old crazy stuff that he always do. But Mike Tyson started telling his trainer something, right? And I'm like, what is he talking about? You know? And this is just me speculating on the other side of this, right? Like, what is he telling him? He told him something like, oh, okay. Hold on, I think it's right here. Watch this. Look at this, right here. Here we go. I think it's right here. Mike Tyson jabs, throws the right hand to the body, and then doesn't even follow up with a shot. Then his trainer's telling him something. And he's still talking to his trainer. I'm like, what is he talking about? Interesting. Hold on. It's coming up. Bear with me. I got it in slow motion. Here we go. Jab, right hand, and then the left hook he was supposed to throw to the head earlier. Then the right hand to the head. Hold on. Bear with me. I didn't timestamp this one. I think it's right here. Maybe it's not right here. Maybe it's not right there. Let me skip forward. There's a point where Mike Tyson complains about his leg. Like right there, he didn't switch to southpaw. But Mike Tyson points to his leg in the corner. Hold on. It's right here. He complains about planting on his front foot. Let me see. And it's another thing I noticed. He kept getting tired and fatigued. And I'm like, bro, this is just one round. See? Right, that was right there. I noticed this in real time. So when he was closing the distance, I was like I said, I know what Mike Tyson gonna do on the inside. I want to know how he gonna get there, right? And then I was looking at this in real time. I caught this. I was like, hitting the pads. He didn't throw a jab. You notice that? He just tried to walk in distance. He didn't throw the jab at all. And I'm like, that's interesting. Mike Tyson didn't throw a jab. And he's been talking to his trainer this entire time too as well, right? And I'm like, that's interesting. See? You see? Did you see his trainer pointing his leg? Did you see that? Mike Tyson's been whispering to his trainer about something this entire time, right? And then his trainer listens to him, right? And then he goes to his, I don't know who this is. It's another trainer, cameraman, I don't know who he is. And he points at Mike Tyson's back leg with his mitt, right? I don't know who he's talking to, but he pointed to his back leg, right? And Mike Tyson hasn't thrown one punch yet, right? So here we go. Here we go. Hasn't thrown one punch yet. And he can't plant on his back foot. Then when he just tried to plant on his back foot, look, he's telling them. He's telling them it's his leg. Look, he's telling them his leg right there. Bam. Puts his hand on his leg. Let's see it one more time. One more time. He tells them during the midst that something's wrong with his leg, right? He don't throw one punch. He's just trying to walk in the range. Then when he does launch and throw the jab, it don't feel right. So what does Mike Tyson do? He tells his trainer, hey, man, there's something wrong with my leg. He drops his hands down and puts his hand on his leg and tells him it's his back leg where he has the knee brace. I caught this in real time. In real time, I caught this, right? So with that being said, Mike Tyson, closer to 60 than he is 55, got a leg injury. And this would hurt a young fighter. A young Mike Tyson with a leg injury would be extremely damaged, right? A young Mike Tyson. And if you do not believe me, let me say a young Mike Tyson, a younger Mike Tyson. You know, I have proof of that as well. I take you to this fight right here. This was a very exciting fight too, by the way. Hold on. Mike Tyson fighting Danny Williams. For those who know, and for those who don't, is about to know. So here we go. Mike Tyson versus Danny Williams. Mike Tyson was beating the hell out of Danny Williams. I'm going to be all the way honest with y'all. He was beating the crap out of Danny Williams in the fight. Like he was hitting he had Danny Williams on skates in there. This was supposed to be a knockout. But during the fight, Mike Tyson injures his leg. And this is a younger Mike Tyson, right? So here we go. Oh, let me take it out that slow motion. I don't want to hear that. Hold on. Here we go. Boom. It's a younger Mike Tyson, right?
Williams early. He's doing it the way Roach wants him to. Throwing good combinations on the inside.
Right there, Mike Tyson Mike Tyson was slipping and coming over the jab with the right hand. Right? That was the move. So let me put it in slow. Let me put it slower motion, not completely slow. So that was the move that he was pulling on Danny Williams. Right there, he hurt his leg. Right there, Mike Tyson hurt his leg. He was trying to slip in on Danny Williams, and he ended up hurting his leg, and he was no more good. And like I said, he was about to knock Danny Williams out in that fight. So this is a younger Mike Tyson with a leg injury and still couldn't play. Anybody who know anything about boxing, when your legs are gone, it's over. You know, if you're a mover, you need your legs to get out of range of punches. If you're a puncher, you need your legs to generate power on your punches and get inside, especially being a shorter guy. But here it goes. A younger Mike Tyson fighting Danny Williams, right? And Danny Williams, Freddie Roach's game plan was to use the jab as the point of entry for Mike Tyson to get inside on Danny Williams. And it was working to a T. He was beating Danny Williams up really, really bad. See, right there, he used as the entry, slipped his head to his right, and came over the top with a right hand, but he hurts his leg, right? He hurts his leg. Right there on that hook. He plants his leg, and then he hurts it. He hurts it right there, right? Hurts his left leg. And like I said, he was no more good. He ends up getting knocked out by Danny Williams in this fight. Well, in a fight that he had Danny Williams on skates and was about to finish Danny Williams. So he ends up getting a leg injury when he's younger, and it affects him. How do you think it's going to happen like 20 years later when he's close to 60? This is what I want you to think. I want y'all to think about some things for a second. You know, you got an older guy you know what I mean, who had stomach ulcers before the fight, where they had to postpone it, and then he gets a leg injury also. And y'all would rather say the fight was scripted than the reality of it. Mike Tyson's a human being. The man needs his legs to punch. I don't care. Prime Mike Tyson all the way to senile 70-year-old Mike Tyson. You need your legs in the sport of boxing. It just is what it is. And Mike Tyson, you know, was injured before the fight, had a leg injury. And that's why he, in the open workouts, he didn't hit the mitts and look as explosive as he did during the build up to the fight, right? So let me take you to this. Let me take you to this because this is pretty crazy, right? So when I'm at the arena, right, after knowing all this stuff that I know, right, Mike Tyson's leg injury and all this other stuff, right? I remember vividly Mike Tyson walking out, right, and tripping on his way out, and I BS you not. Remember I remember before the fight, they were showing all of these Mike Tyson clips of, man, baddest man on the planet, and you know, all of this stuff. And everybody like, yeah, get him, Mike, get him, knock him out, bro. You know what I mean? Everybody just going crazy, right? I remember this vividly. And Mike Tyson was walking to the ring, and I was aware of the leg stuff, right? I was aware that he got tired really fast in the open workout, and I was aware of the knee brace and him not looking explosive as he looked. And I was like, damn, man, I hope Mike don't get knocked out. This is what I'm thinking, man. You know, this is what I'm thinking, you know, in the arena, you know, real time. And Mike Tyson, you know, hey, listen, like I said, very stoic face, is able to channel that, what do they call it, that aura. You remember when what's his name, Charlie Murphy was talking about Prince, and he was like, bro, I seen that aura, bro. I seen it. Mike Tyson got that. He gonna die with that. It is what it is. But look, they go to knee brace, and then he was walking out, and he stumbled on the way walking out. And I BS you not. I'm gonna show it in slow motion, then we'll rewind it and show it in fast motion. I was like, oh man, it's over. I was saying this real time at the fight. I'm like, man, it's over, bro. It's over, bro. He can't even walk to the ring. Like, you know, what? You lost your balance walking to the ring? You stumble walking to the ring. How are you gonna play it? See right there, bam, tripped and fell right there. He tripped and fell right there, but he's able to play it off, you know, but let's watch it in fast motion. So like I said, this was my thoughts going into the fight. So about the leg injury, etc. So check this out. Bam. So let's watch it in fast motion. Mike Tyson's walking out and stumbles. You know, the closer I get to the ring, I get more confident. And then when I get to the ring, I'm a god. You know, Mike Tyson, that's going through Mike Tyson's hand, and whoop, hold on. Whoop, trips before going to the ring and plays it off. And I remember thinking, oh my God, just face palming like, oh man, I just hope he don't. And it looked like he got hurt after that. You know what I mean? Look at hold on, let me put it back on slow-mo, because I want y'all to look at the legs afterwards. You know, shout out to my educated brother Frank Rice. He said that legs done shrunk. Check this out. The legs didn't even look good at. I mean, you know, like his balance looked off just walking to the ring. You know, and that just made me uneasy then. That's when I knew Mike Tyson was gonna lose. You know, when I was telling people before the fight, I had a lot of friends that said Mike Tyson might knock out Jake Paul because he suck. I'm like, nah, bro. Shout out to Suge Knight being in the background. Nah. I like, nah, bro. But I thought he might get a decision because it's 2-minute rounds and he is Mike Tyson. So I thought they might do it a draw like they did Roy Jones. But when he tripped, I was like, oh man. I was like, come on, Pop. Just survive, Pop. Just survive. Get in there, Pop, and survive. You know, I knew it was no hope then. I was like, it's over. You know. But you know, for those who have been watching Mike Tyson for a long time, those were red flags to me. You know, the people who have been watching Mike for a long time, listen, to the people at home that was looking at Mike, that seen Mike Tyson's ass cheeks, you know, I didn't see that from there. You know, when I looked on Facebook and I see all the memes and stuff like that, and they was like, You mean to tell me I took off from work to just see Mike Tyson's ass cheek? I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, what? You know, so there shouldn't be any kids watching, you know, so any kids and homophobic men, you know, or men that just don't like looking at old man geriatric ass cheeks, this would be a good time to get off the live just for a little bit. You can always come back. It's gonna be 10 minutes tops, I promise you. But to those people, you know, to the people that don't know, I just want to listen. I'm the scholar of boxing. I have to go back and give context and give y'all and inform y'all properly, right? So even the ass cheeks was not new to Mike Tyson. If you know Mike Tyson, you know the story about him answering the door with Remy Ma, right? And he was like ass naked or something. You know what I mean? He was like butt naked, and he was like, you know, and what you call it was like, Fat Joe's like, Mike, what you doing, bro? Matter of fact, let's show it. Why not? Why not? Let's show it. You know, Fat Joe, I had 100 guys with me, B. 100 guys. He always be capping. I had 100 guys with me, B. Mike Tyson, Remy Ma. So if you know what you know about Mike Tyson has always, you know, did some weird stuff. So here we go. So check this out. 100 guys with me, B. Had 100, every story is 100 guys. Like, Fat Joe, who are these 100 guys that's just following you all over the place? You ain't that rich to have no entourage. So what they would do and working for free. So here we go. Here's Fat Joe's story about Mike Tyson.
Nigga, when you did the Mike Tyson with Eve at the awards, and you was like, yo, you gotta take the bass out the voice. Chill, Mike, chill. That shit. I told him
What's
that story.
What's that story? I don't know that story.
No, one day Mike was talking crazy to Eve.
Like what crazy?
Out of this world. Like picture I'll eat your kids and I'll fuck you in your ass.
Not like that.
Not like that, but yeah, no, he was saying
what
that.
happened? Mike
He was saying that crazy shit to him.
And you think
she must have looked at it like a steak instead of, you know, when you see
you thought
something.
he was gonna fuck you up?
Listen to the story. No, when you see something and you say something in your mind, he was doing that, but it wasn't in his mind. He was just, whatever he was thinking, he was saying it. And me, Styles, and Luch is like, somebody gotta be the crash dummy. Then we gotta hawk. Somebody gotta get their whole face broke. And then we're gonna hawk them after that.
Sean Don.
We did 20 first fingers about 20 million times. Nobody wanted to take the first.
That's hilarious. Hey, shout out to Kazi, man.
Yeah, but Mike was telling her that crazy shit. I want to tell you, he was saying that crazy shit to her. And we like,
you know, he did that to Remy. But we was in his house.
That's after she shot the girl before.
That's after that's before she allegedly shot the girl. I turned the time he went to his house, he opened the door ass naked.
Grand jury, she can't do
He opened the door ass naked. And I was like, yo, Mike.
Hearing that.
No, I said, yo, Mike. Yo,
Mike is on that.
Yo, you gotta have heart to tell Mike Tyson, like, yo, my man, throw the towel on, man. Like, and I'm with some allegedly.
You at his house, though.
Yeah. I'm with some alleged.
Like this. Hello.
He was like, yo, Joe, you know this is the boxes. Yo, my man, you gotta stop. Then we go inside, and the type of things he was telling Remy, Ma, I felt pussy if I didn't like address it. Like I had to be like, yo, Mike.
Oh, that might have to be around the same time.
Mike shit.
Some horny demon shit.
He was losing his fucking mind.
Just bugging out.
Yo. Yeah, Mike is crazy. He was like, yo, Joe, you know, he showed me a brand new Benz. It was like a 500, some brand new shit, never drove. He was like, yo, you just leave her here. You got the Benz, you know. The shit was crazy. Like, I was like, yo, my man.
Just leave her here. And
yeah, like.
That's some terrorist shit.
Remy was looking at me. Remy's eyes looked at me. Her eyes opened so big. She was like, nigga, you better not leave me in this fucking place. I think her brother was with us too. Everybody was looking like, yo, like we gonna have to like pound Mike Tyson out. We have no pause, no choice. We gonna have to like, it's nothing we can do. Like he was like, yo, showed us the brand new Benz. Shit was like 150, 200. Nobody even had that shit right then. They should still have the sticker. We was like, nah, she got to go with us, Mike. Nah, that shit was crazy, man. Oh, it takes a lot of courage. It's almost like a guy at the movies with his girl, and they rap into his girl and they disrespect his girl in front of him as they 10 deep. You know you're going to get your ass whipped. A lot of these guys are cowards. They won't defend their wife or their girl or shit like that. But the guy that does.
Now, anyway, the moral to the story is Mike Tyson answered the door naked with Fat Joe, right? And when he answered the door naked with Fat Joe, he basically offered Remy. He might be. But this is why I do believe this aspect of the story frame. I do believe this aspect of it, because Mike Tyson has a history of doing a lot of naked and weird stuff. He like it, bro. He liked them people on them weird people on them nude beaches in his mind, I guess, you know, because there's been a bunch of stories of Mike Tyson like that, just all out in the locker room or whatever the case may be, no Diddy. But I wanted to show this. Because this is what y'all see at home that I didn't. I ain't gonna say the privilege, but I wasn't aware of in Dallas. So this is what y'all see. Like I said, leave and come back if you homophobic, don't like to see geriatric ass cheeks, or whatever the case may be, or maybe you fight urges. I don't know what it is, but just leave now.
Dad, you ready for tonight?
I'm ready, yes.
How do you feel about the disrespect he's been constantly throwing your way? And is it fueling you to get you more violent result?
Y'all got a question. Is this Mike Tyson's son? This got to be his son.
You ready for tonight?
I'm ready.
Yeah, that got to be Mike Tyson's son. Like the same name or whatever. That got to be his son or something, because he kissed him afterwards. No Diddy.
Yes. How do you feel about the disrespect he's been constantly throwing your way? And is it fueling you to get you more violent result?
I don't pay any attention to it. We're fighting now. Nothing matters anymore.
What's your prediction?
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
That's done.
Yo, pause for the camera guy zooming in on Mike Tyson's cheeks, bro. That was wild, right? But if you have been a Mike Tyson fan and you've been here from the beginning, most people know that's not the first time that's happened, right? Outside of the Fat Joe story, like I've been a Mike Tyson fan since I was a kid, right? I know all the look. I know a lot. Right? I'm saying I know a lot, not everything, but that's not the first time that it happened. He just wasn't a geriatric when this happened. So check this out. This is him. Zab was his homie because they both was from New York, right? Zab was fighting on the undercard. He was watching Zab's fight from the locker room whenever he was fighting Lou Savarese. And check this out.
Oh, yeah. Try that bitch ass shit. What's that, father? Okay. Good. Better not try that with us. Bet you that. You got something on. Like, come on, kid. Real life.
Also, in the fight with Razor Ruddock, he was half naked at the weigh-in for Razor Ruddock. Mike Tyson I don't know. Mike Tyson just different. Maybe he didn't indulge. I don't know what he got going on. But Mike Tyson, that ain't the first time that like things like that have circled around Mike Tyson's name. Now I wanted to address this, that we didn't address everything. The ring walk, the ass cheeks, the knee injury, all of that stuff. I want to address this, right? For those who don't know, this is why I say boxing is hard to script, right? This is why it's hard to script, because fighters go to their training camp, number one. it's hard to find another grown man who's willing to take a dive, right? There are some people who are willing to take dives, but they're not willing to take punches. See, it's a difference. When they take a dive, it's obvious. They don't get hit by a shot. They just go down and start flopping on the ground. It kind of look like a Trinity Broadcast Network where they do them spiritual healings and they got like them oils and stuff, and then they throw miracles at people when they started shaking and you know, shaking on the ground and stuff like that. It looks like that, you know, because nobody, even if they're willing to take a dive, they're not willing to take a punch, right? Because if it's like going up to somebody saying, I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can and I'm gonna give you this money, they're gonna flinch, they're gonna block the punch. It's just a natural reaction. They're gonna want the money, but they're not gonna want to take the punches to get. So even in Hollywood, where the professional stuntmen do this for a living, right? They practice for months and months at a time to get it right. And even sometimes they have slips ups there where people accidentally get knocked out, concussions, or whatever the case may be, right? So this is two people that respectively go to their training camps and train for the fight. And people think that you could just give them a script and they're going to go without no rehearsal and go in there and get it exactly how it's supposed to be to the T. That is absolutely insane. Wrestling is scripted. Wrestling can't even do that. Wrestling, a scripted sport, right? Non-competitive sport, right? Can't even get it down to the T like that. And they rehearse for hours and hours and hours on end. Why do you think boxing would be able to do it? Most of the people who think boxing is scripted are a lot of people who've never been in the ring. And to the people that be in the ring, I'd be like, come on, man, shame on you. You know how hard it would be to script something like inside the ring, especially when you're not practicing with somebody. They're in their respective camps that are separate from each other. So how could you get it right? How are you going to get it right on the first try on fight night? That's absolutely insane. Not to mention this, anybody who's been in the ring knows there's always that gym warrior in the ring that treats the sparring session like a 12-round championship fight, try to knock you out in front of everybody, you know, God and country. They will try to spark you out in sparring. You could tell them, hey, man, we're going to do some light sparring. All right, man. They're going to come out throwing bombs from the beginning of the bell. So you expect me to believe, you know, people that try to knock you out for nothing, for clips or to put on their Facebook or, you know what I mean, to knock you out in front of your the fitness class at Crunch Fitness, whatever the case may be, are going to get in the ring and take dives. I just don't believe it. And I know the history of boxing have people who have alluded to taking dives, but a lot of them just make excuses for losing. And then the ones that do take dives, if you go look at the fights, they're obvious. Malik Scott versus Deontay Wilder, the punch didn't land. It was a dive. You know, here's another famous one right here. Let's watch this. This is Danny Green right here. This is Danny Green versus Paul Briggs. I'll never forget this. Two friends put the friendship on hold. Danny Green would end up knocking out Roy Jones, which is why I never liked Danny Green, but that's neither here nor there. Watch this. Let me slow it down. I don't want y'all to miss anything. And turn the moderators off because they don't know what they be talking about anyway. So here we go. So Danny Green is in his fight. The guys are good friends before the fight, you know, but they're like, hey man, y'all got to put that to the side to make this fight happen, right? And Danny Green ends up throwing a jab and steering him in to the corner or whatever, and this guy drops to the ground. The punch never landed, right? Punch never landed. It didn't even land when he was trying to steer him into a right hand. The guy just flopped to the ground. Do you know why he flopped to the ground? Because it's hard for a grown man, especially if he already got the money, the check already cleared. You know, that's what he think right now, like, check already cleared, man, I'm gonna just stay down here. The check already cleared, right? It's hard for another grown man to just take a shot from another grown man, like anticipating a punch. Like, that's why I think that slap league is so stupid, where you just sit there and just let somebody slap the hell out of you for nothing. Like, a punch? You think some people don't even want to get slapped? You think somebody, if I said, I'll give you $1 million, let me slap you, they probably would flinch. They probably would do all kind of stuff to not let me slap them and still want the $1 million. This guy, he sold it. Look, oh man, I can't get up. What's going on, referee? No, the punch never landed, but it was obvious. It's obvious to people who know how to break down the sport of boxing, who understand what they're looking at. When somebody takes a dive, It's obvious when you understand the physics of boxing, and I understand the physics of boxing. Jake Paul did not take a dive, and neither did Mike Tyson. Long story short, but you know who was pissed off in this fight? Danny Green. And you know why? Because he knew that and this guy was his friend, but he knew he took a dive. Listen to what Danny Green had to say. So in this fight, mind you, this guy did take a dive, right? When y'all suggested a fight script, you suggest that both parties are involved in the scripted fight, right? So both parties have to agree to it, and somehow, even though they don't meet with each other, they have to be in sync on making it look legit. Now, this guy took a dive, but it wasn't scripted. Danny Green didn't know anything. He didn't read along with the script. He didn't get the memo that this was supposed to be scripted. Look at how he reacts to it. And this guy's his friend too, by the way.
The hurricane is gone.
He talking a bunch of stuff to him while he got a knee on the ground. Danny Green is pissed off.
Danny Green absolutely having a crack here at Paul Briggs.
Boy, when I tell you this dude sold it, he limping. Look how he limping to the corner. The dude limping. How you not get caught with a shot and all of a sudden you limping? Look, he limping. He got the corner helping him over, the referee helping him, everybody.
If we had answers, I think it was a legal.
He's sitting on the stool. Oh, what day is it? Donald Trump's still president. I don't know what's going on.
I think it was one left jab to the head. The crowd has gone berserk. They are voicing their disapproval. This fight was not allowed in New South Wales. Paul Briggs would not be registered.
Okay, let's do it again. Let's show the replay again. Put it in slow-mo. They got an aerial view. Let's go with the aerial view in slow-mo. Here we go. Look, he anticipating getting knocked out. That's what I mean by it would be so hard to pull it off in boxing. Look at his face from the aerial view. He looks like a person that's in there to get knocked out. And he's waiting to get knocked out. Look. 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 He's not throwing anything. He got his weight over his back foot, just waiting, anticipating a punch. That never came. And look, ducks up under that jab. It don't touch him. It don't touch him. It don't touch him at all. He ducks up under the jab. No punches touched him. Even when he tried to steer him, it didn't even touch him. Oh, man. Look, this is the only contact that was made in the fight. Was his guard against a retreating Danny Williams, you know, trying to control range and not get hit by the punch, try to keep a filler out to know where he is. That's the only contact that was made. The power. I'm dying. Oh, my, like, bro, come on. It's obvious when people throw fights. This is what I'm trying to tell you, because they go in with the mindset that they're going to throw the fight. And because they go in there with the mindset, to a person like me that know what I'm looking at, I know when they're throwing fights. I know when they're throwing fights. Man, look, nothing touched. Nothing touched. That dude, oh, man, my knees. Oh, man, what's going on? What year is it? Is it 1999 when Prince is supposed to? That's crazy, man. Nothing touched. Look, oh, man, he's looking for a reason to get knocked out. Another view. Look, nothing touched. Looking for it. And Danny Williams has never been mistaken for a Mike Tyson puncher in his life. So why was Danny Williams so mad after the fight? You know, if boxing is scripted, now this is a legitimate match. This ain't no exhibition. Well, why was he so mad?
Crumples to the ground.
But I'm pretty sure this is y'all first time hearing this. I want you to listen. That's a script. Now he played along. He got the corner to carry. He got his corner to help him to the corner. He sat on the stool. Look at Danny Williams. Danny Williams is heated. Did Danny Williams not get the script? That's what I want to know. Look, they got to talk Danny Williams out this cliff. Danny Williams is heated. I want y'all to hear this.
And they're trying to get him out of here.
They hurry up and got that man to the dressing room because the fans was finna rip that man apart. Listen, if I'm able to see it, you know, on this side that he took a dive, you don't think the fans were able to see it? Why you think they booing so much? If it was a legit first round knockout, then they would have been like, you know, they would have probably been cheering like on some gladiator stuff. But because it was so obvious that he took a dive, well then. Clearly, he said the phantom punch. That's hilarious. But clearly, you know, the people there were able to tell, and so am I. But I want you to listen to Danny Williams after the fight. Shout out to Danny Williams for not having any eyebrows like Ugas. You know what they look like? They like them people from Prometheus. You remember that movie Prometheus with the aliens? That's what they look like with no eyebrows.
You can hear the noise the crowd is making. Paul Briggs is not a quitter. Paul Briggs is not a dog. In my opinion, and the opinion of most genuine boxing fans, there have been issues with Paul Briggs' health, which is why he retired in the first place. The reason why, and he is being...
The Green Machine, Danny Green.
Danny Green more embarrassed than anyone here in Perth or here in
Last 6 or 7 weeks, it all came to a head. Take us what your actual thoughts were.
Now, before Danny Williams give his speech, if boxing is scripted, Danny Williams should have had the script too as well. Danny Williams should have just said, you know, I've been punching hard. You know, for this fight, I was chopping wood. You know, and you know, I went to the church, you know, that you see on TV where they said them prayer cloths, you know, and I went and got one, the one that was blessed by David himself, and you know, it gave me the power to knock this man out. So, you know, I want to give an honor to God tonight. Instead of saying any of that stuff that would have been part of the script, he's pissed off and angry because he didn't get the script. He wanted it like this. He wanted to legitimately knock the guy out. He knew the guy was a no-hoper and he was supposed to win.
Of that first 30 seconds of the fight.
All right, just chill out. No one's as pissed off as me. Believe me. Not one person is as pissed as me.
Did that seem like a man that had the script? No one's as pissed off as he is me. You know, with the down under accent, he was furious.
Just chill out and give me time to speak, because there's not one person in this room that is more jacked than me. And I can't say sorry for that person. He ain't even a canine. He's not even a canine. My Chihuahua Rocky's got bigger balls than that, and Paul Briggs ain't getting paid a cent. He dogged it. And that's criminal what he just did. And I don't blame each and every one of you guys in here for being filthy. So as a smarter person, I'll raise above that canine's level, and I will apologise to you for his behalf. And I promise you, every person in here I will make it up to the next fight here. And I give you my word, I promise you.
So God threw a fight. Danny Williams, Danny Green, my bad. Keep calling him Danny Williams because I was watching Mike Tyson. But Danny Green was so pissed off, he apologized to everybody there and promised them he was going to make it up at his next fight. Can you guys imagine you being in a fight and you didn't train really, really hard and you want to go showcase to everybody your ability and skills, and then a guy don't even get hit with a punch and he's fumbling and bumbling all over himself? wouldn't you be pissed off as well? Or would you see? That's what I'm saying. Like, when I have conversations with people, they always say stuff like, you know, they wouldn't sell out, and you know, every single one of them believe in Illuminati, but not one of them say that they would sell out to the Illuminati. But then, when you put them in a situation where they can get super chats or do something for a little bit of change for pennies on the dollar, they stab friends in the back, will turn on friends and do all this other crazy stuff. This is stuff you can't make up. But them same people look at this situation and you ask them, you know, would you, if given the situation, that's hilarious. That dude said he went Super Saiyan 3. And for those who don't know the reference, Super Saiyan 3 don't be having no eyebrows. So he did look like Goku when he turned Super Saiyan 3. That is hilarious, bro. But if I ask y'all if you were in a situation where you're a professional boxer, because most of the people here either like boxing, like to love boxing, right? Would you throw a fight? A lot of them would say no. So then why do you think Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are any different than you? This went on Mike Tyson's official box rec, his official record. You think he wanted to lose to Jake Paul, draw at most? Do you think he wanted to lose to Jake Paul on his record? I even heard some people saying this was a humiliation ritual with Mike Tyson. That's why he was showing his ass cheeks. Oh my God, these people are crazy, man. Oh my God, what's good, Mel? Oh my God, that's crazy, man. They said Mike Tyson was in a humiliation ritual because he showed his ass cheeks. Oh man, people crazy, man. People crazy, bro. That's crazy, man. Oh man, people crazy. So with that being said, let's go back to some more of the highlights. I split the highlights of the Jake Paul fight up so that they wouldn't flag me, man. Hopefully they still don't get me, man. It's only highlights, bro. It's only highlights. So let's go. As I showed you a while ago, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, because he dipped down before he threw this right hand, and because he leads with his head instead of keeping his head center and throwing the right hand from where it is, because he moves his head here, he misses that right hand. That sounds like Roy Jones commentating. Let me go back. Because he moves his head before, the right hand doesn't have anywhere to go. It doesn't have a home. It can only go where the head is and the other shoulder. You know, it's just basic physics, you know. Throwing the right hand this way, like leaning over on this side, there's no way he could have punched Mike Tyson. That's why the punch just kept traveling in the direction of his head and whether his other shoulder and his leg is, you know. That's why he grazed him. If he don't move his head and slip left before he throws that shot, he catches Mike Tyson with the full blunt of that punch because Mike Tyson was throwing a jab at the time. And like I said, Mike Tyson's older and slower at this point. Still explosive, but once he was committed to that shot, he was committed. If Jake Paul catch him with that right hand, he might have knocked Mike out. Just being honest. But there go Mike Tyson throwing a jab, right? Throwing a jab, trying to plant on the same back foot that I told y'all was messed up. Then he hooks off of it, and then Jake Paul tries to catch him with a right hand off of it. That's crazy. Jake Paul's out here trying to counter Mike Tyson. So look, Mike Tyson comes in, jabs, and then stumbles in because he can't plant on his back foot. Did y'all catch that? Stumbles in. He didn't even take a step. That's crazy. I didn't catch that in real time. Look at his feet. He takes a step and then stumbles in, and then tries to hook and switches to southpaw. And then Jake Paul tries to catch him with a counter of his own, a counter right hook. You know, and then knocks Mike Tyson off balance. Mike Tyson has him on the ropes and then, you know, tries to land a left hook. But look where the left hook is coming from. Look how far it is down. And notice the back foot where the knee brace is, right? Notice that. Wild, and it misses. Does that look like a punch that's not thrown with bad intentions? Does that look like a guy that's going in there to carry another guy? That's why I say we gotta ask ourselves legitimate questions, you know. We just can't go off of you know, conspiracy. That's how I love a good conspiracy when it makes sense. You know, Trump is on the Epstein list. Look, oh my God, did y'all see that? Let's go back. So when Mike Tyson throws the wild hook, Jake Paul grabs his lead hand and puts it on Mike Tyson's head. when he steers him into the ropes, Mike Tyson looks like a feeble old man, like falling into the ropes, trying to regain his balance. And then he has to plant on this bad leg. That's oh my God. Oh my God. Why is it so hard to just believe Mike Tyson was an older fighter with a leg injury than to come up with that Mike Tyson had a script? I don't know. I think this is an easier thing to believe because it's physics, it's laws of nature, it's a bunch of stuff, you know, in the works. So here we go. Look at that. Jake Paul threw a punch at Mike Tyson. This is what reflexes suffering look like. He threw a feint at Mike Tyson, right? Look, feints at him, and then look, Mike Tyson removes both hands from his face, his guard, right? And slips over to this one side where Jake Paul can clean his clock with a right hand. And then don't counter. The window's gone. He slips back to the other side, but Jake Paul's already gone. He's already out of there. Mike Tyson tried to track him down and throw the left hook that I don't know why he thought this was the money punch. Right there, he elected to throw a jab. But even when he threw the jab, he got caught in between it. Right. Threw a jab. Both of them missed. Jake Paul's jab goes over the mark because he squats before he throws all his shots. So his goes over the mark, and Mike Tyson's more on the mark, but it misses. It looked like he was about to throw a hook. A hook. He just turned it to a jab because he realized it wasn't gonna land. Let me see. Yep, it was a hook at first. Yeah, it was a hook. It was a hook. See, he had his weight and turned it with his hips. It was a hook. It wasn't a jab. That punch was so slow. It was started off as a hook, but it had to be a jab because the window was closing. That's what old age looked like. You know, Mike Tyson should have got a smaller ring in 2-minute rounds and then postponed it, you know, until his leg got better. But hey, his jab is not even landing. And you remember all those clips I was telling you about? Now, look, I'm not going to lie. This don't help my argument. I'm going to be honest with y'all because, you know, that's what I do. I keep it real over here. I'll be honest with y'all. Jake Paul throwing a jab to him first and missing does not look good. Look, Jake Paul throws a jab. Oh, okay. He throws a jab in midway. He sees Mike Tyson throw. That's why I said Mike Tyson had got his respect early on. So Mike Tyson throws a jab, and his jab doesn't land either. His jab doesn't land either. It like grazes Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul was just scared, man. He didn't want to get slapped by no old man. You remember Mike Tyson slapped the hell out of him in the press conference. But look, every time he was ready to launch an attack, he had to plant on his back foot. So he had to take 2 steps. You see that? Am I on slow-mo? I got to get y'all to see that, man. Y'all can't. I got to be on slow-mo. Okay, still on slow-mo. I want to slow it down so y'all don't miss one moment of that. Mike Tyson planting on his back foot, right? And because the back foot is injured, he has to take 1 giant step, but he has to take 2 steps. Look, right there, stutter step, and then another step. And he's still not in range. That's why he looked like he looked against Jake Paul. That is the very reason why he looked the way he looked against Jake Paul. Leg injury, older guy coming into the fight. Those 2 things could not equal success for Mike Tyson. And then when he gets there, Jake Paul and him both were throwing wild punches, so they both were missing. Jake Paul actually hurt him right there with that little short uppercut inside of his wild hook. Mike Tyson was able to play it off, but he was hurt. And look, he don't even move with Jake Paul. At this point in the 3rd round, he's so fatigued and that leg injury is so nagging that he don't even want to work. Look, he's just standing there. He ain't even move. He don't want to work. He's older. Look how he's reacting to Jake Paul feints. You know, when it was announced that Mike Tyson was about to fight Floyd Mayweather, one of my subs said that Mike Tyson wanted to die in the ring of a heart attack. And why did I visualize him saying that? You know, I just want to go out the same way I came in. You know, there's nothing more glorious than dying in the ring of a heart attack. You know, especially when America's leading in heart disease. Why not go out in the ring from heart disease? It's a very poetic death. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's crazy, man. Said that's why he gave up. He didn't want to feel that heat. Luke said, "What's up, man?" He said he still want to get in the ring with that bum leg. He need to sit down somewhere. He must be running through that 20 million. I don't know, bro, because they allegedly didn't pay him. You know, on his podcast, he said for the Triller fight, they didn't pay him for that Roy Jones exhibition that broke records with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones being close. Well, we all showed up to see Mike Tyson destruction of Roy Jones. Let's be honest. You know, nobody was showing up to see anything less than that. So people was really tuning in to see Mike Tyson destroy Roy Jones, you know, so that's why the numbers did what he did. I think they did like 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. That's crazy. They did more than Bud and Errol Spence. That's insane. But look, he throws a jab, not even close. Jake Paul don't even have to exit or respect his power at this point. Because like I said, the older you get, that second and third win is harder to get. And then there goes Mike Tyson biting on his gloves. Remember I told you when he's trying to figure out how to get inside, when he's becoming frustrated, that's a habit of his. He'll start to bite down on that glove. You know, and it also helps him keep his hands in the proper place when he's tired. See, right there, he just look. Jake Paul throws a jab right hand, left hook, catches Mike Tyson with the left hook, and then comes in and knocks him off balance. Look at him. He don't want to plant on that leg. Did you see that? Did you see that? He don't even want to plant on that leg. Look. The leg is bothering him so much, right? So much. Like Jake Paul throws a jab right hand, and then Mike Tyson's still stuck because he gets caught with the left hook, right? Well, hold up, that left hook thing. He blocked the left hook with his hand. And hey, look, that just show you extremely gifted athletes, right? He throws a jab right hand, and Mike Tyson slips to his left, right? And normally Mike Tyson will come up with the left hook right here, but the window's closing, the speed ain't there, and we're in the third round at this point. He's not even going to take that risk, right? But like Jake Paul tries to catch him with the left hook, right? And he deflects it at the very last second with his glove. So that punch doesn't even land. I thought it landed because of the way he reacted afterwards. Look, right here, it looked like it landed, right? Like he's like, oh shit, you know. But nah, it wasn't that. He don't want to plant on his leg. He don't want to plant on his leg so much, he just won't even reset. He's in the southpaw position right now. All he got to do is drop that leg back, you know, get back in the orthodox position. He don't even want to drop it back. He stays in the southpaw position because he don't want to plant on that leg. Jake Paul pushing him all over the place in that position. Why? And look, he still don't want to plant on it. He'd rather plant on this leg, which is his lead leg in normal situations, and don't want to plant on that injured leg, you know, that right leg. See, look, falling all over the place. Look, is that the behavior of somebody that with a normal leg that can plant on? Look, he falling over. Look, Jake Paul could push him over at this point. Jake Paul could just blow on his ear. Jake Paul could get in his ear right now and say, Marcus, I'm not wearing any panties. No, I'm just playing. But no, at this point, he could do anything to Mike Tyson. He could literally just push Mike Tyson over at this point. He don't got nothing left. Still, look, and he's still in the southpaw stance, right? Trying to land a left hook on Jake Paul. Look, it's not there. He can't plant. Then finally he switches it back to orthodox. So if you want to know why Mike Tyson looks so washed up in the fight, it's because of his leg. It had nothing to do with no script. You know, even though they allegedly leaked the script out before the fight, you know, to get some views. But, you know, that's just, I don't know. It's crazy, man. Mike Tyson, he's just old, man. He's just old. And everybody knows, you know, no matter how well you took care of your body, injuries are going to happen. You know, I always compare it to this. When you're younger, you can get your ass on that floor at like 12 years old, get back up, no ease. You know, sleep for a long time, get up easy. You tried it at 20 and you still in your prime. You ain't even entered your prime at 20 years old. You don't get up and your back going to be killing you. You know, it just hits what it is. So I always use that analogy to old age. It ain't that these people get old and decrepit and they can't do it. Michael Jordan can still dunk. Michael Jordan be still trying to come back to the league right now. He just can't maintain it over the course of a duration. When he came back with the Wizards, You know, everybody try to forget that, you know, because they want to shit on LeBron. But not when he came back with the Wizards, Jordan was still good. His team was gonna make the playoffs until Jordan got an injured knee. Same thing as Mike Tyson. You can't push your body the way you can when you're younger. That's just the fact, right? Or injuries will occur. You know, it's like a fine car. You know what I mean? Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen. Shout out to me for having kids. This is a good analogy right here. I was watching the Lightning McQueen movie the other day. That's one of my son's favorite movies, right? And in the movie, Lightning McQueen was fast and all this other stuff. But Lightning McQueen, when they put in them new cars and he was an older car, he tried to push it. He blew a tire. That's what Mike Tyson essentially did. He blew a tire. You know, appreciate you, Lou, for saying double tap the screen. Yeah, y'all double tap the screen, man. Make sure y'all participate into the poll as well. But that's what Mike Tyson did. He blew a tire, you know, and he couldn't keep up, you know, and the injury was nagging him. Before the fight, he should have pulled out, but he didn't pull out, you know. I don't know why they think that's warrior spirits. Like, come on, Mike. It's going on your box rec, bro. Like, you can't be out there selling your booty at this age, you know, pun intended, you know. You can't be out there just, you know, sacrificing your pride, you know what I mean? Thinking I could just knock Jake Paul out just because. You know what it reminded me of in the movie The Great White Hype? He was like, you gotta relax, man. I could beat that boy with my blackness alone. That's what Mike Tyson was thinking. That's what Mike Tyson was thinking during the Jake Paul fight. Man, I beat that boy with my blackness. Said, I tried so hard not to laugh at that, but I was screaming. Said, I just had an argument with a person and I worked with that the Tank fight, about the Tank fight. He was saying that they won't let Tank get hurt that bad and they're gonna fix the fight. I still don't know who the F is they. That's an absolute fact, Pittsburgh T. How they gonna prevent it? So, man, look, we live in a country, you know, not to get too political, even though this is a political episode as well. This is not the politics. This is politics of boxing, no, not of the United States. But we live in a country where we literally had to like go force people to put on masks, right? And like we told them, if you put this mask on, you could save lives. They were arguing about their rights, the Constitution, and all of this stuff. Stay with me. Don't get stuck on the politics. Stay with me, right? So you mean to tell me if it's hard to make a grown person put a mask on to save somebody else's life, that all of a sudden, you know, so you mean to tell me that all of a sudden that people finna start listening and fight? Let me tell you something, man. If somebody told me, Scholar, I'll give you $1 million to throw a fight, I'm gonna take the $1 million because it's illegal for me to throw fights anyway. I'm gonna pocket that and I'm gonna try my best to win the fight. That's how that goes. That is how that goes. You think I'm gonna lose a fight with my kid and my family, God and country watching? Like, bro, you better get up out of here, bro. I'm finna go in there. Man, look, you better not get no injury in front of me. Like, bro, I listen, I'm putting weight on that leg. We're gonna test the weight of that leg. We're gonna do all of that stuff. It's just hard for me to believe. And the reason I'm doing this is because Jake Paul has to fight a lot of these rumors about the fight being fixed. And not to say I'm the hugest Jake Paul fan in the world, because I do give him credit, but like I said, he did shadow ban my channel, and I probably would be at 50,000 subs had that not happened. You know, a small time YouTuber compared to a dude with millions of subscribers, or whatever the case may be. So I have no incentive to defend him, but it is what it is, man. That fight was not scripted, and this fight is not scripted. And if Tank comes in at 100%, you know, Jake Paul is not the greatest boxer in the world. It's kind of even to believe it. Believe it or not, it's kind of even. Tank thinks that Jake Paul is a cherry pick, but Jake Paul's people think Tank is a cherry pick. And I look at it like this. Jake Paul's people have been right more times than Tank. Tank's people thought Lamont Roach was a cherry pick, and we all seen what happened in that fight, right? We had a homeboy taking a knee talking about grease in his eyes, right? But Jake Paul picked Hasim Rockman Jr. as a legitimate boxer, the dad's name, and good build up into the fight. That fight didn't go through, but had it went through, Jake Paul would have probably knocked him out because he lost his next fight. Stay with me. Canelo Alvarez was chosen by Jake Paul right? At a perfect time. That fight doesn't go through. He then fights Skull, right? It looks awful, and then gets beat by Terrence Bud Crawford. Stay with me, right? Stay with me. Jake Paul and his team are really good. Even the loss that Jake Paul has, right? Even the loss that Jake Paul has is to a guy who's not in the sport anymore. He literally retired after that fight, and Jake Paul knocked him down in that fight. So the point that I'm making to you is Jake Paul and his team are really good at picking opponents at just the right time that gives Jake Paul the best opportunity to win. To the point where people think all of his fights are scripted, including the Mike Tyson fight. So, but he could have fought Mike Tyson when the same Mike Tyson that fought Roy Jones. He didn't. He waited. He waited till Mike Tyson got older and then got in the ring with him. So Jake Paul and his team are really, really good. He got good boxing minds around him that know just when to make a fight, when it's gonna make the most amount of money and be not gonna say no risk, but low risk for Jake Paul. And if the fight don't go through, like the C. Rockman fight, they lose their next fight, or the Canelo fight. So one thing I want y'all to keep in mind, Jake Paul thinks that this is a cherry pick, and Tank thinks that this is a cherry pick. But Tank's people have been wrong more than Jake Paul's people. That's the point that I'm making. I don't know what's gonna happen in the fight. I'll assume that Tank Davis is going to use his legs and stay away from Jake Paul and just say it's a boxer and try to rob the bank. That's what I think is going to happen. Looking at the press conference, no aggression, no anything whatsoever coming from Tank Davis. That's what I assume is going to happen. All right. But you never know. I assume that the physicality of the fight would be too much for Terrence Bud Crawford. I thought he would have success until he didn't. So you just never know. You just never know. Damn, Rob G, if you get this one right, Rob G ain't been wrong all year. If he get this one right, man, damn. We'll have to do a segment with Rob G called the Oracle segment and let Rob G tell you how the fight gonna go down. He said, what about the Tyson and Roy Jones fight then? What do you mean? The Tyson versus Roy Jones fight was what do you mean? Nobody said that was scripted. Matter of fact, most people were saying that was a good fight. They wasn't mad about spending their money on that fight. I didn't hear anybody say that fight was scripted. That fight delivered the fans of what they wanted. Mike Tyson was trying to knock God damn, this knees hurt. Talk about old age. But a lot of people were saying that fight was good and worth their money. Nobody complained about it. That's how Jake Paul got famous. He stretched Nate Robinson on that same card. So I didn't hear anybody say that. That's news to me. They said this fight was scripted, but I didn't hear anybody say that fight was scripted. Said Tank by stoppage to the body. That's an interesting take, Rob G. And it's not too crazy because Jake Paul ain't used to taking body shots. He said Jake wins easy. You think so? Said Jake takes a knee. He said pulls a Ryan. You think so? He said Jake will beat Tank. He said put your money on Jake Paul. And then Eric said he's too big. All right, so let's get some more of this fight. So this is the what you call it. This is the highlights. Now, one thing I want you to notice, if you go look at Mike Tyson when he's 15 years old and he's shadow boxing for Customato, he has the exact same, the exact same look as right here. And what Customato told him is to keep his hands at cheekbone level, right? Roll your eyes up, because your punches are going to be coming from his hands, He's not going to punch you with his knees or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? So you keep you roll your eyes up, you know what I mean? He looks exactly like he did when he was younger. You know what I mean? That's why I say all that muscle memory and stuff like that. Let's see. Jake Paul throws a jab. Mike Tyson goes to parry it, but like I said, this is a sign that Canelo did the exact same thing with Terrence Bud Crawford. That's why I say his reflexes are I knew his reflexes were shot, but I didn't know if Terrence Crawford still had the speed to expose this, but a lot of times he was in his guard, and his guard was broken up by the jab, and that happens whenever you get older and you can't time the jab like you normally time it, you know what I mean? And they're stronger than you, so they could just push through that guard. And Mike Tyson goes to parry the jab, but it still breaks through. He has to get his head up out of that. Abort. He got to get his head up out of that defensive position. And then, of course, muscle memory. He slips his head left because he knows the right hand's coming behind the jab. And look, slides right over his shoulder. That is a great muscle memory right there. That's a great understanding. That is the peekaboo style at its finest. Like I said, Jake Paul always bends his knees when he throws his shots. I don't know why. I even seen Jake Paul training and he was sitting in the chair, right? And he was getting out the chair throwing punches. And I was just like, why is he doing this? Who made this drill up? This is he got good boxers and minds around him as far as picking opponents. I don't know who the hell is training him. Was that Larry Wade? I don't know who that was that decided that wasn't a good idea. But like I said, look, I think this is where he comes back. Yep, this is where he comes back with the left hook. And Mike Tyson parries it at the end. Look, like it skipped him on the top of the head. But he puts his hand out to block and it catches him at the top of the head. And this is why I was saying that, he couldn't plant on that foot because in normal circumstances, they would just reset, get back in the orthodox stance. Mike Tyson just elected to stay in the southpaw position and let Jake Paul throw a jab and push him off. Look how angry he looks. Are y'all serious? Do y'all really think he threw this fight? I wish I could zoom in on this right here. I wish I could zoom in to show y'all this face right here. Y'all really think Mike Tyson threw this fight? Look how angry he looked. Like this face right here says, "Goddamn kids, get off my lawn!" Like, are you serious? He really wants to hurt Jake Paul. He just can't do it. The mind. What did Jesus say? The brain is willing, but the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Flesh is weak right now. Flesh got a leg injury. But look, now right there, he looked from intensity to, oh shit, this motherfucker crazy. And he pushed him off again with the jab. Threw the jab again, and look how far he goes back because he can't plant. So he almost falls over from that jab. It wasn't that the jab hurt him so much. It was just his balance was off because he had a leg injury. And then you see the gray. Look, he didn't shave it off and he's still gray at the bottom. Mike is a pop-pop. Mike is a pop-pop, bro. Like, look, bite on his glove. I told you do that as his fidget. That's what it's called. That's Mike Tyson's fidget. If he can't do anything in the fight, he's looking for answers. He don't see a path to victory. He'll start to bite on that glove. Okay, so here we go. Round 5. He catches Mike. Look, Jake Paul. I remember people was like, Mike Tyson almost died from a jab. He needs to retire. I agree with him retiring, but he didn't almost die from Jake Paul's jab. A lot of these jabs were barely skimping Mike Tyson's head. It was his balance. Look, right there, he squared up, not even in the boxing stance. And then he gets hit to the chest with a jab, trying to slip his head. And look, fall all the way back into the ropes. It falls all the way back into the ropes. And he goes back to being squared. He don't get in this boxing stance. He try to move laterally. See? Try to move laterally to keep from planting on this leg right here. He try to move to his left laterally to keep from planting on that leg. And hey, whoa, hold up, Mike. Hold up, Mike out there setting traps. So look, Mike Tyson moves laterally to his left, right? Because he don't want to plant on his right foot. And then Jake Paul throws the hook and he counters with the hook. Shout out to Mike Tyson in the 5th round. Hit Jake Paul. Look, almost falls. Goddamn, Mike Tyson. And almost falls. Look, losing all balance. He was like, put everything into this left hook. We got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow this opportunity. Like, bro, look, throws the left hook with everything that he has from the southpaw stance. And because there's nothing there to catch him, you know what I mean, when he throws, rotating his hips and everything, putting everything he has into that left hook, he got to put his balance back into his left foot and then stumble and fall. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to tell you, know what I'm talking about, man. And look, here go Jake Paul putting his hands down and showboating and doing all this crazy stuff. And, I'm a demon, bro. Man, you don't understand, bro. When my metabolism kicks in, bro, it just go crazy, bro. It's like nobody out there that can like outlast me, bro, whenever my metabolism kicks in. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was really mad, bro. I wanted to do a fan man in this fight, bro. I wanted to jump over the ring and put straight hands and feet on Jake Paul. I'm gonna just be honest with you, bro. It was hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch because you see an aging guy, you know what I mean, that the younger guy waited till he was even older to fight, and then he coming in with a leg injury. It was hard to watch. I'm gonna just be honest with you. It was hard to watch. And look, just look at his movement right there. Just keep moving around the ring. Anything to keep his leg and keep the weight off that leg. Shift it over, moving over to his left a lot. Still trying to create chaps. Not getting in his real boxing stance because he don't want to put weight on that leg with the brace. I can't believe Mike Tyson went in there with a brace. That's crazy. Yeah, not doing anything. There you go. This is all the inactivity. Y'all were like, Mike Tyson didn't do anything. We just bite his glove and show his ass cheeks. I think they said he was signaling here, right here as well, too. I believe somebody said that he was signaling to the referee because he complained about something. See, right there. He told the referee something. They were like, oh, no, he's talking to the referee. He's in on it. Like, bro, it's the 7th round, bro, in a 2-minute fight. Like, bro, what could he be signaling to? Why not signal in the first round? What is he telling them? Hey, the fix is in. Tell him stop hitting me so damn hard before I hit him hard. He just threw the punch with everything he had. Look, still can't plant. Still trying to move left. Jake Paul cuts off his left, throws the jab. Mike Tyson is in complete defense mode. He's in complete defense mode. He's just picking off Jake Paul's shots. He's defenseless. He's defenseless at this point. Look at that. So, okay, let me show y'all this. I remember people were saying, oh, it's a fix. And this is one of the clips they showed. They showed Mike Tyson coming off the ropes. Oh, man, hold on. They showed Mike Tyson coming off the ropes. So they said, oh, it's a fix. Look at this right here. Mike Tyson Jake Paul throws a jab. Mike Tyson uses it as an entry to come in, right? And then Jake Paul throws an uppercut to his body. And Mike Tyson can't even plant. Like, he basically want to deliver this punch like Amazon Prime is faster than this, and they take a day sometimes. Like, this is, I don't know what delivery method he used to deliver this punch, but man, anybody could have got away out of this punch right here, bro. He don't got nothing on it. He ain't planted. He ain't grabbing the floor. There's no power on this shot. And Jake Paul just parries it away. And Mike Tyson, with his bad balance and bad leg, almost falls over. Just walking hurts this man. Just walking hurts him. There we go. Last and final round. Well, this is the rematch. Just a replay, excuse me. So look. There we go. Look. There goes the jab. Mike Tyson picks it off. Straight defense mode. And then he knows that punch is coming, so he braces for that. Jake Paul lands it on the top of the head slightly. Tries to run him into the right hook, and Mike Tyson just blocks the right hook. Jake Paul's able to throw a 4th punch because there's nothing coming back. And the 4th punch lands, but it's a slapping shot. That almost knocks Pop off. Almost knocks Pop off balance, but he's able to regain his balance. He's basically in there with a 60-year-old one-legged fighter and ain't able to get him out of there, which is why I don't make Jake Paul a strong favorite against Tank Davis, because I think Jake Paul sucks. I'm gonna be honest with you. As far as his skill, he sucks. Here we go. Look at this. This is the last 30 seconds of the final round. Jake Paul throws a jab and then throws a right hand. Now I want to, because a lot of people were trying to say, oh, we carry Mike Tyson. No, Mike Tyson, he was just scared of Mike Tyson's power. Mike Tyson threw punches with bad intentions early, and it made him put his hands in his pockets, where he didn't want to take a lot of risks in the fight. Why take risks when I'm up in the fight? It is what it is. He did the same thing in the fight that he lost with what's the dude's name? Tommy Fury. Jake Paul's not a guy that's gonna take a ton of risks in the fight, and his power I don't think he'll ever get a knockout past round 5 going forward in his career if he continues to step up. He don't got that kind of power, unless he keep fighting UFC fighters. But look at this. This is Mike Tyson last 30 seconds. Jake Paul throws a double jab, and then look at his punch that he throws, the right hand. That right hand was thrown so hard, Jake Paul knocked sweat off his own hair. He's trying to knock Mike Tyson out. Like, that's why I'm trying to say all that. Well, he carried him. He carried him. Man, y'all don't know what y'all looking at, bro. This dude trying to knock Mike Tyson out, bro. That's why I try to say script. What script? Like, dudes want to get. You think Jake Paul didn't want Mike Tyson getting knocked out on his resume? Why would he allow it to be counted on Mike Tyson's box record if he cared that much about Mike Tyson? Like, y'all got to stop this, bro. People got egos and pride. You know, people think boxing is literally that, just beating up on somebody, you know? And that's why Charlie Z talk about him being undefeated and got clips of him putting gloves on people and telling them it's going to be like sparring, just trying to go ham and knock him out for that very reason right there. But nah, this dude trying to knock out Mike Tyson, bro. This dude ain't taking it easy on him. Look, man, threw that punch with everything he had, then followed up with a left hook. Man, you can't tell me this guy ain't trying to knock him out, man. Come on, bro. They're trying to knock out Pop. He just didn't have it. And he was fatigued as well. He was just fatigued as well. And look, Mike Tyson, because of his leg injury, you know, now that you guys are aware of this, now you can pay attention to the footwork, right? Like, Mike Tyson's in his regular stance, don't want to throw a punch, takes a step back, bounces, and then starts moving to his left so that he don't have to put no weight. Then he's crossing his feet. So that's a no-no in boxing. Crossing your right. Why would you move? Mike Tyson's been moving left his entire career, right? And everybody know you move left, you move your left foot first in boxing, right? He moves his right foot first. He moves his right foot first because he don't want to put weight on it. And I think that's where Jake Paul bows to him. Yeah, that's where he bows to him. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, this is a man who has bit somebody in the ring before. This is a man who has a reputation for being a dirty fighter, and it don't affect his career. I don't know about y'all, but Jake Paul would have bowed to me. He'd have woke up looking at flashing lights. I'm just being honest. He'd have bowed to me. I'd have been like, finally got you. You know what we just did? Remember Smokey? You know what we did? We finally got that little. That's what I would have said in my head. I swear to God, I'd have let a punch go with everything I had. I'd have tried to, I'd have knocked that that mullet off of. I'd have tried to knock them tattoos off of Jake Paul. You know, but yeah, he let him bow to him and didn't try to throw a punch. You know, made a solid agreement. Like, yeah, you know, it's the final seconds. He said he didn't remember anything in the fight. He said all he remembers is the bell ringing and then Jake Paul bowing to him. So this is where he said his memory came back into the fight. And then he's like, okay, yeah, like, okay, I appreciate it. You know, good gesture. And then Jake Paul bows his head, puts his hands, oh my, Mike, he's not looking. What are you doing? Bro, when I tell you all leg injury would have went out, all that, bro. I got a couple seconds left. Bro, I'd have did a running punch. I'd have ran up to him and just leaned back with everything I had, bro. I'd have put Jake Paul in that top section. I'd have put Jake Paul in that top section over there in that booth, in that press box. Man, I'd have put him in a tunnel. I'd have put him somewhere. Jake Paul would, bro, he'd still be sliding to this day. You remember when Chris Brown and Stomp the Yard did his special move and he was sliding on his neck? Man, I'd have put Jake Paul on his neck like Chris Brown, bro. Man, I'd have slid Jake Paul. But yeah, man, he bows to Mike Tyson, and then that's the end of the fight. So with all that being said, look, then Mike Tyson puts his hand out. He makes an agreement. And it's the end of the fight. I'm really furious that he's allowing him to do all this while it's real time and not making him suffer or pay for anything, you know. Then Jake Paul, after all that bowing, takes a deep breath too as well because he's missed a lot. And then bow again. He gave Mike Tyson like 6 or 7 opportunities in this fight to just haul off on him. You know, Jake Paul essentially was making a silent agreement there too because he's just as tired as Mike because Mike is still elusive in his old age and Jake Paul was missing some heavy shots and he was fatigued, more fatigued than the older guy who's close to 60. And that's why I don't have a lot of faith in Jake Paul. as a fighter. See, look, got his hands down. Look, at least Mike Tyson's able to keep his hands up. Jake Paul is so fatigued that his hands are down by his side. Look, his hands is down by his side. He ain't even throwing nothing. His mouth is wide open. He's breathing really, really heavy. Really, really heavy. So, yes. In my estimations of the fight, Mike Tyson would never throw a fight. I mean, you could make the argument that maybe he didn't come in 100%, so he didn't give himself the best chance to win. So maybe by that standard, he might have, he might have did a disservice to boxer. But as far as him actually throwing a fight, agreeing to lose a fight, I just don't see that. I just don't see that happen. That's just my perception on everything. Like I said, that man came in with a leg injury. Man is pop at this point, and it's like, what under what circumstances could he have won in that? Like, how could he have won with a leg injury closer to 60 years old? That's why he should have. And then he had stomach ulcers. Because I had tickets to this fight. The fight was supposed to happen months earlier. They had to postpone the fight and push it back because he almost died from stomach ulcers. And they allowed that guy. That's why I don't want to hear the purity of boxing and all this stuff. Not only did they make it go on Mike Tyson's record, they allowed him to get in the ring after having stomach ulcers, a leg injury, and all that stuff. They didn't test any of this stuff. He was able to get in there with a knee brace and put on this type of performance. So with all that being said, no, I don't think Mike Tyson threw the fight. I think that Jake Paul was smarter for waiting to Mike Tyson, 4 years after Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones. That was smart. And now he got another name on his resume, and he made sure that name was going to go on his resume, that was smart, in my opinion. So all those things was what you call it. It helped Mike Tyson. Helped Jake Paul, hurt Mike Tyson. So I wanted to show this too before I get up out of here. This the final video on the playlist. So I want to show y'all this. So Logan Paul, Dana White was on Logan Paul's show, right? And you already know how I feel about Dana White. If you don't, you might be new here. I don't like Dana White, right? But Dana White said a bunch of different things, and he was asked about Jake Paul and his brothers and who they fight and who they select, and he had some pretty interesting things to say. So let's go. Let's start.
Burnt bridge with my brother, unfixable.
I don't hate your brother.
He made a diss track on you, though.
You know what's funny about your brother? So your brother talks more than anybody else on the planet. Now him and the Warlock are running around trying to sue people. They're trying to sue people when people.
This is why I do not like Dana White. Dana White is pretty good at spinning stuff and, creating narratives and stuff like that. So Dana White, with this, they're running around trying to sue people stuff. It's like, Dana White, how many people have lawsuits against the UFC? That's number one. The only reason he doesn't like Jake Paul is because Jake Paul is the MMA slayer. If y'all hear anybody else say the MMA slayer, just know that they greatly inspired by the Boxing Scholar. Nobody's saying this. I even had a thumbnail where I did Jake Paul, the MMA slayer, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? But he had a history of going and getting UFC fighters that Dana White had put a bunch of promotion in. See, and Dana White bit itself in the butt by, hold on, let me drop the link. In case somebody want to pull up. If not, I'm gonna just go ahead and end it. To the people that want to join the conversation, I'm gonna post this on the community tab. I'm gonna also put it in the chat. All you gotta do is hit the link and pull up and voice your concerns, opinions, or whatever. So give me a sec. Boom, we back. Okay, I'm back now. So Dana White doesn't like Jake Paul because Jake Paul was not only exposing that UFC fighters are all hype, all fluff, no go, and because they would take a person like a Tyrone Woodley and they would tell you this is the baddest man in America. He got 2% body fat. Nobody could beat him. He's the best on the planet. What might say? I'm the best ever. They will tell you all these things, right? And then, you know, once the UFC, you know, doesn't like them, they'll start matching them up tough, get them beat, and then try to pour into the new star. Or if they have a contract dispute, they'll tell you they're not that great or whatever the case may be, and then they'll end up losing the fight and the UFC will drop them. Whatever the case may be. It's when you're in good graces with Dana, you're the baddest MFer in the world. When you don't do what he says contract-wise, then all of a sudden you become a liability, and then this guy don't even train the same no more. He don't drink water the same no more. He's really a bum. You know, all the stuff the tricks that Dana White plays. Jake Paul exposed that, because what Jake Paul would do is grab a person like a Ben Askren and say, well, you know, this guy was a UFC champion. You know, I ain't got no experience. I ain't even got no amateur experience. I think I could knock him out. And Jake Paul would say stuff like that. And Dana White would be like, hold on, what? I bet $1 million he can't beat Ben Askren. And then he knocks Ben Askren into the Netherlands. You know what I mean? So that exposes the hype machine over there at UFC. Dana White does not like that, right? So that's why he doesn't like Jake Paul, because Jake Paul is bad for business. He'll never say this, but this is what I see and this is what I know. Doesn't like Jake Paul because Jake Paul is bad for business, right? Because UFC fighters don't get paid nothing. Jake Paul gonna give them their biggest payday. So everybody from Francis Ngannou to John Jones, all those people are gonna run over to get these multi-million-dollar paydays from Jake Paul and get knocked out. You know, well, not Francis Ngannou, obviously, right? But I mean, like, I'm just talking about the pay. You know, John Jones might beat him too. But other than that, the lighter weights, they have a chance of getting knocked out. Nate Diaz, you know, that's another one. You know, Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, all the people who were stars in the UFC who should have been the highest paid are going over there and selling their reputation and their legacy to Jake Paul to get knocked out because Dana White won't pay them. So he exposes Dana White from top to bottom, and this is why Dana White does not like Jake Paul. He never says this, but I mean, for those who've been watching and ain't been living under a rock, this is exactly why he doesn't like him.
Talk shit.
Well,
and the Nelk boys brought this up to me, and you know, I'm sure there's people out there saying, you know, that they're fake fights, they're fixed, and all this other fucking bullshit. But I think what people mean when they talk about it is, you know, he's gonna fight fucking Gervonta Davis. It's like when you
who do you got?
You guys need to fight guys your fucking same size. You know what I mean? When you fought Floyd, you are massive.
That's crazy. Listen. This is the difference between Jake and Logan. They are brothers, but you just see the difference in mentality. When Jake Paul is on stage, you know, Jake Paul is not going to let anybody intimidate him. So he does have a fighter's spirit and a fighter's mindset. He tries to psychologically get into people's head. Logan Paul is so submissive. Like, he's allowing Dana White to talk to him like this on his own show with no pushback. You and your brother need to fight people their own size. Bro, we're YouTubers that went into boxing. We don't got no amateur career. We're fighting people with actual experience. You're just mad at the UFC people are getting stretched by my brother. That should have been his response, but it wasn't. You know, listen, Tank Davis accepted the fight. He has the responsibility of bringing integrity to the sport of boxing, or maintaining the integrity. He wasn't supposed to put his name on a contract, but it don't matter who they is. UFC boxers, if Jake Paul come knocking, they gonna sign that contract. Canelo had his name, and they call him the cash cow of boxing, don't they? He put his name next to Jake Paul because they know what that do. You know what I mean? They even asked Bud, you know, would you fight him? He said, nah, the size. They said 150 million. He said, I'll fight Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Stop that, Dana.
You're a massive fucking dude. Floyd's tiny. And I'm sure when you were training, you're like, all right, I'm going to hit this guy with a couple punches and grab him, tie him up. And he did hit you with a fucking bomb of an overhand right one time. And you fucking ate it. You ate that punch. And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd. But he's too small. I mean, your brother's going to be able to, you know, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing.
I don't hate your brother other than shooting down the fight that he's about to come into. You know, he just said that your brother was going to put his weight on him. He didn't say knock Gervonta Tank Davis out. He didn't say get his respect. He probably just said he was going to be able to endure what you dish out, essentially. So basically, you could hit them hard, but they can't knock you out. It's crazy.
But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is,
and then why is he so careful with his words? You know what it is. You know what it is. I mean, I know what it is. He's suing people because it hurts the legitimacy of the future fights that he has. It's bad for business. Why would you continue to allow people to go out there and say the fight was scripted when it wasn't? You know what I mean? A blind man can see that fight was scripted, you know? And everybody runs away with it. You have more people that believe the fight is scripted than believe it was just a 60-year-old man with a leg injury that couldn't do anything against Jake Paul. So.
Okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals. And when an echo chamber starts.
That man said they're pretty polarizing individuals.
And a rumor mill starts of like stage fight bullshit, which like these fights aren't staged, you know, that's just, it's at that level, it's like almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts. I think that's the theory. So to hold people accountable for
legitimate
perpetuating
meaning,
the rumor.
Legitimate meaning.
And see, Dana White is about to play a word game with legitimate. He knows what legitimate means. He knows the point that Logan Paul just tried to make. It's not that hard. It's not that complex. You know what he was trying to convey. But he's gonna be like, legitimate. Could you use it in a sentence? You know, he's about to play word games. Like, bro, you know exactly what the hell he's talking about. So yeah, he's gonna play word games. He's about to become a wordsmith. What y'all call a word salad? You about to give him a word salad. Here we go. Oh wait.
Not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
not many of the fights are legitimate fights, but not being fixed. Hey, you hit me here and I hit you there.
Yeah, I mean that's Dana. That's insane. You like?
I agree.
Like let's choreograph.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if people are fucking saying stupid shit? People say dumb shit about me, my business. You know.
No, people tell the truth about you and your business. It's just dumb stuff to you because you don't like to hear it. But for the most part, people tell the truth about the UFC and what they mean to the sport of combats and stuff like that. They mostly tell the truth about UFC. It's just that I think Dana White doesn't like what they're saying because it's bad for business. Same reason he don't like Jake Paul, because Jake Paul is bad for business because he knocks out all of the UFC guys. So yeah, Dana White essentially to me is a dirt bag, you know, greaseball, whatever name. You little weezer. He talked about in the same interview about, you know, bringing a fight to the White House lawn, and if he really wanted to, he could do it at the park, but just it's going to be so great that they're going to do it on the lawn and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is insane, you know. And like I said, not to get too political, but Dana White having a fight at the White House is just absolutely like bonkers, bro. It's not in a good way either. It's just like, man, it's silly. It's silly. The UFC has made it to the White House lawn. Like, that's something that would be in a movie. You know the movie The Expendables, where you go when your career is washed up. If you're an actor out there and you're A-list and they give you The Expendables, it might be time to go ahead and hang up the old acting boots, you know, because The Expendables is a sign that your career is it's getting shaky, baby. You know what I mean? It's almost done, you know. But that's a scene I could see in The Expendables where they do a fight at the White House type stuff, and Donald Trump is literally bringing it to life. But anyway, besides that, you know, keep this video under 3 hours so people it got playback value. So besides that, my synopsis of the fight is that it was not fixed. You know, it wasn't fixed. It wasn't fixed. Mike Tyson had a leg injury going into the fight. And that's why you've seen a bunch of the stuff that you've seen, you know, that looked unordinary, you know, where Mike Tyson was just sitting there not doing anything. You know, he didn't have that vicious, look in his eyes from throwing shots and stuff like that. It was because Mike Tyson had a leg injury and he couldn't plant on his leg. And I caught that in the training videos, because if you go look at all of his training videos online, when he's hitting mitts, Mike Tyson's just, bah, 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 you know what I mean? You can hear the mitts. He knocked the trainer mitts off and everything. No knee brace. But if you look at him right before the fight, when he was doing an open workout, you see the knee brace, and then you see him complaining about it in real time. And then you see during the fight where, you can see him not wanting to plant on that leg. So that's why the fight appeared to be that, because it's to the untrained eye. But to the trained eyes, and I see it all. I watch it all. I don't just watch boxing film. I watch everything. So to me, I've seen it for what it was. I've seen it for what it was, not what it might be. With that being said, make sure you hit the double tap the screen. To the people watching on X, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube. Even if you like X, I always stream it from YouTube as well. Got a whole bunch of breakdowns on there. To the people who's already been followers, I know times might get tough, but if you want the exclusive boxing content, boxing videos, I got a Freddie Roach video teaching you how to box. Go to the members only. And without that being said, this was a great episode. I might be back tonight. I'm gonna go handle some business and do some things, and maybe I might be back. Hopefully I'll be back, but that one's going to be a non-boxing. So, got to get a boxing pants. Y'all fixed. Y'all did vote for the next live to be boxing. And even though I didn't want to make it boxing with all the stuff that's going on in the world, I got to give y'all what y'all asked for. And hopefully y'all will return the favor and go to my members only, where it's exclusive boxing content. To the people that voted for it solely to be boxing content, and when I do a live or a poll, you don't have to get all the boxing knowledge from my lives only. Subscribe to my members only and watch the videos and get exclusive boxing content. That's how that works, But the next one will be non-boxing. That's non-negotiable. I like to talk about more than just boxing. But I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Angie, Kazi, who else pulled up? Frank, my homie Lou, Rob G, everybody, appreciate everybody for pulling up. But anyway, he said it definitely was fixed. Prophet, this is what I want you to do. After I end this live, go back and look at all the points that I've made prior to the end of this video and see if you still believe that. Pull up on the next live and let me know what you think of this video, because I put a lot of work in investigating and all that stuff. And let me know if you still have the same mindset or if you changed it quite a bit. I even broke down the science of what happened during the fight. So make sure you go back and look, and then let me know if you still keep that mindset. And like I said, to everybody that I forgot that pulled up today, Marky Dan, or who else? Amir. Yeah, Amir, you always late. It's so funny to me. It's so funny. When I used to start my lives late at night, my old YouTube fam, Amir, well, Gus would never, because Gus a night out anyway. But a lot of people, Karma, y'all be like, oh, man, you need to start early. Why you do your boxing live so late? Then when I start doing my lives early, y'all be like, oh, man, I'm just making it, man. What's going on? Man, I've been here 2 hours cooking, beans and rice, rice and beans. And y'all done missed the whole live. You can't make this up. Rod G, she was lurking. I'm gonna take a mirror wrench. She ain't real. She said, nah, never. Nah, LOL, never lurking. Man, Amir full of it, Rob G. She full of it, bro. But yeah, man, that was a good live. I might be back. I might be back later. We're gonna do non-boxing though. I think I'm tired of. I'm used to you being 10 hours. See, and that's what that. But you started taking my lives for granted, Amir. You used to see me on for 10 hours and you thought, oh, man, I just catch him on that 5th hour. Nah, sister, we're not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? We Hollywood now. Rob G over there, making connections with the Illuminati 33rd. And, me, I'm over here doing my thing. We got big things planned for 2026. We're already in 2026. But, yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Like I said, the people just pulling up Amir. Make sure y'all go back and watch the beginning and tell me what y'all think. Tell me if y'all think the fight was scripted or not. I did a lot of effort into my presentation. And let me know what y'all think. Like I said, the next live is gonna be non-boxing. And I might do it around 11:30 Central Time. So yeah, appreciate everybody for pulling up. Anyway, go ahead. No, I definitely ain't coming back at 6 in the morning. I mean, I've been working out. I ain't got time to be doing all this, sister. You know, I ain't you know, I've been working out and I be tired, you know, and I'm getting older and I got a lot of stuff, family, everything going on. So no, I ain't doing that. But I'll probably be back at 11. I might be back at 11:45 Central Time. So make sure y'all hit the notification bells if I do another live. But anyway, Ray J, go ahead and talk to him, serenade they soul.
Superstar, wish to have a fancy car, wish to have $1 million bucks. Well, I wish I don't be in love. So feel me, pretty baby. I make one wish and I wish it all on you. Make it love to the break of dawn. Me and you to the baby's born. Till my baby's born.